Hello, this is Kylie J.N.S. Happy Wednesday, and I hope you guys are having a great week. And so I had to restart my live because my sound was acting up. Let me make sure that my sound is good, but hope you guys are having a great week nonetheless. And so I want to cover an important topic that has been on my mind for the last couple of days in regards to the abolish race argument that Black Americans have been discussing for the last 2 weeks. And I also want to give some ontological arguments for my take on this whole abolish race argument that had that has been brought forth to the forefront. And then I also want to discuss the 14th Amendment as it relates to Black Americans in lieu of just something I was researching last week as it relates to the 14th Amendment and the challenging that the incoming administration had planned to do with the 14th Amendment. So I was trying to get pretty much some information or like like on the whole gist of what was going on and taking place. So I was researching in real time, and I had a moment because it was like, the 14th Amendment was something that was created in 1866. It was ratified in 1868, and it was specifically for Black Americans or those who had been formerly enslaved on in North America. And so I want to discuss that as it relates to the Bill of Rights because that is what the 14th Amendment guarantees. It expands citizenship for those who are formerly enslaved. And so I do want to discuss why the RNC is talking about the 14th Amendment. And again, I want to make clear that my philosophy going forward is not one in which I am where I'm for either political party. I do have to say that. And so, as an American citizen, as someone that researches things, I do think that it's important that we have a dialogue, amongst our own in terms of like what is going on when they talk about challenging the 14th Amendment and what does that mean, and flesh out my argument in terms of my initial uh, upbringing of this topic, and because there is a concerted effort to minimize and discredit the things that I say, the very legitimate things that I say, even as many of even the thought consciousness that I've brought to the forefront has been stolen by the very same people that are currently trying to discredit um, what I say and the work I do. But nonetheless, I'm doing this video to give more clarity on my argument around the 14th Amendment because it was not about deportation or immigration at all. And so I have to flush out, you know, what's going on. And the next thing I want to address after that, after we address those things, is controlled opposition and the COINTELPRO techniques that are used to discredit people, very intelligent people, people who can see through the matrix, people who can see through the lies and the chicanery and the smoke and mirrors of things, or even spiritually. And so we want to talk about like how that's going to be ramping up in 2025 and 2026 for not just me, but for many people who are going to stand on the truth, who are going to call out bullshit wherever it may come from. And so, I want to talk about controlled opposition and what it means for people who protect the core deception of any system that is inherently flawed, that never challenges the status quo. And so, I do want to talk about a little bit about that and what it means to when you can be entitled to your own opinion, but not to your own facts. Okay, and just because someone presents uh, a different argument or they may not agree, it doesn't mean you insult them instead of actually bringing forth your own logical argument. Or if you cannot counter the person, what I'm noticing in this space is that the immediate thing is to insult or to uh say you're crazy or something. And so we'll talk about that, but I want to first again discuss this abolish race thing. And pretty much it was discussion that Black Americans are having concerning the misnomer of Black, or the identifier of Black under the American social construct. And so the argument is that for many Black Americans is that the social construct of Black is uniquely American, and it was used as a status and as ethnicity to label uh, what we would call today Black Americans. And so they feel like a lot of Black Americans feel like melanated immigrants or melanated people who come over to America, they will not fall under the Black American category. They cannot be a Black American. They would be their ethnic identifier wherever they come from. So, say if it's a Nigerian American, they were to come over to America, they would be Nigerian American. They would not be Black American. And so it's a very uh, ontological argument, but I would say it's logical because again, whether or not you think Black is a misnomer, whether you think it's a status, whether you think it's a condition in law, it has been used on Black Americans' paperwork to describe an ethnicity. Around 40 years ago, around 40 to 30 years ago, there was a concerted effort to change the definition of Black to broaden it outside of the horizon of ethnicity, but to just make it a race. And so the current definition in federal law of of the term Black means any racial group from Africa. That's on the U.S. Census Bureau. We covered that on this channel many times. And so Black Americans, who are like 50 million strong, are noticing that the definition of Black in federal law is incorrect in their eyes. Like okay, this does not refer to any racial group from Africa. This only refers to uh, Black Americans. And so, in lieu of the delineation movement, you know, there is scuttlebutt about what terms we should use, which misnomers we should use, what statuses we should use. It's a lot going on. And so, but the general agreement is that the definition in the term Black American is solely for those who had been here since the inception of the country, at least, or a descendant of slavery. So again, that's the argument that I think I'm hearing. Now I've been listening for 2 years to this argument, so it's I personally think it's a fair one because they're talking about the idea of paperwork and what you can prove in law as it relates to the injury that Black Americans have faced. Now, when we talk about reparations as a legal matter, then the paperwork is good. It matters in terms of your lineage, and so when Black Americans are talking about delineation, when they want to gatekeep the term Black just for Black Americans, is it something that can be done? Yeah. All you have to do as a Black Americans is state forth that you're going by your ethnicity and your lineage over your race. And so when we talked about abolish race, it's not so much as, oh, we're becoming colorblind or I don't see color. It's not within the constructs of the current white supremacist structure. Race itself was created as their tool to scientifically categorize people based on their phenotypes. As we know, you have Negroid, Mongoloid, what's the other one? Caucasoid, all these things. Whether it's pseudoscience or uh, uh, a logical fallacy to state that you can determine someone's race by their phenotype, they were going by like certain like jaw and skull sizes and all the types of shit to come up with these scientific categories for race. But nonetheless, race took a more political connotation in terms of the American construct, in terms of the stratification in which you would be put in the caste system. So race became more stratified, an American construct. It's a caste system in America, as we all know that. And so, however, even though race is a caste system, before the 1921 John Reed Act, which was a immigration uh, act that pretty much stopped some of the quotas and allowed for more immigration to come into the. I'm sorry, that was 1921 John Reed's Act was the establishment of the quota. So yes, it was the establishment of the quota of immigration, and so that ended, I want to say, in around 1965. And in 1965, that is when more immigrants was able to come into the country. But before that, before 1921, um, to be honest, there was very few melanated immigrants in the country, and so the scuttlebutt around, okay, who's Black, who's African American, who's a descendant of slave, who belongs to what lineage, what ethnicity, who's cosplaying a Black American, what's delineation. That really wasn't a discussion, because it was it was pretty much a silos of an established ethnicity already here. It was like, okay, the Black Americans are the Black, the Negroes, the Black Indigenous, all these different reclassifications that we went through, as you guys know. And then obviously 1980s with Jesse Jackson, with the African American and the Black Negro. We know these things. Octoroon, quadroon. It gets deep, but these were these stratifications. And so melanated immigrants, they weren't over here. And when they did come over here, even in like after 1965, they were very clear on going by their own ethnicity. There's articles on this, articles from many melanated immigrants that will state, I didn't know nothing about no Black until I got to America, or I didn't know what Black was until came over into America. Uh, we go by our tribal lines, we go by our ethnicity, and we're very proud of our ethnicity, as they should be. But so they were telling us they were Ghanaian, like we were saying, oh, we all Black, we all, and they said, no, 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 I'm Jamaican, I'm Haitian, and so fast forward to today, you know, there's a lot of legal chicanery which leads to ethnocide, or which has been leading to ethnocide rather, of the Black American. And so in 2020, that was we caught that. In 2020, a lot of people was waking up to that and was like, you know what? Especially when we're talking about reparations, that's when the discussion really popped off, because it was like, okay, if we flatten Blackness, then if we muddle the argument for reparations in terms of legitimacy of who was harmed and injured. And I think we all know that. I'm preaching to the choir on that. But nonetheless, um you know there's the argument that those people that come over here that are melanated, that we should be delineated along our ethnicity, and that they are not Black. There's others that argue that they are Black. The other argument is, the other side of the argument is that, well, they are Black, and here's why. And usually what they'll do is they will conflate the ontological argument of the term Negro and the English term Black, and conflate those two and say, well, see, they were all called Black. We were all called Black. Negro translates into Black, but Negro, most importantly, it translates into the descriptor of someone's color, which is their dark skin. That's very different than the definition or the way in which the American government used the term Black for Black Americans specifically. That's very different. And so you have to understand what an ontological argument is. And that is where there's this divergence between those who say, well, all melanated people are Black, and then those who say, no, only Black Americans are Black, and Black Americans can only be Black Americans. Like, so if a Nigerian comes over here to America, or if a Ghanaian, or if a Ethiopian comes over to America, they will not ever be a Black American. They will be an Ethiopian American, or they would, maybe they would be the technical African American or whatever. But they wouldn't be a Black American. And so that is the argument. And so the ontological, it explains the relations between the concepts and categories in a subject area, or domain, for those who trying to follow what I'm saying. But it's the study of the essence of something, or whether it exists. And so when we talk about like the term Negro, and and oh, the translation to Black, we're talking about a descriptor of a phenotype. Same with the word more, or petrol, and th- that's a different, it's a very different construct. You're comparing apples to oranges at that point, because the American construct of race, and the way that they've used Black as an ethnicity and a race, was very diabolical, and it was done to cause legal chicanery and confusion, to identify a people as an ethnicity, and then to change it and make it a race, and then they have no category, so anybody can jump into their category and become their ethnicity and their race. You have to understand the argument of grassroots Black Americans, and people who would have that concern. This is not plebiscite Babble. Like, we're talking about the legal way that someone can ethnocide a group of people on paper just through their ethnicity. And so it's very disturbing, to see uh, who we would call like Black influencers in their 60s attacking me. Like, literally, like I'm 32 years old, and this person, you know, who otherwise cannot does not have the range to have a logical discussion with me, they have to just say, oh, this person is crazy, oh, this person is crazy, when this person, I'm pretty much 98% sure it could be very possible controlled opposition just from me studying them, um at least for the last 2 years before I was just following them, but I was like listening to them. But then I'm like, I just noticed some things, and I haven't been wrong on even on what I've been saying about certain spaces and certain things that occurred in this space. I haven't been wrong yet about even certain outcomes I've predicted a year ago or 2 years ago on the money. And so, unfortunately, you know, for just because you have a disagreement with someone, it doesn't mean that you can reduce their argument to plebiscite babble, or to say that they're crazy, or to say that they don't know what they're talking about. That's a COINTELPRO tactic. You do know that. And so I was very clear. Like with me, I can articulate myself pretty well, and it's documented that Black Americans do have this paperwork on their birth certificates and on their records that say Black American, that say Negro. Some may say colored. And so it is a fact that the U.S. government, whether you say it's a misnomer, a status, dead in law, I'm not even here to argue all of that. That's above the argument that I'm making is above all that bullshit. It is a fact that the U.S. government took a label, Black, and used it as an ethnicity to identify someone and as a status, and then decided to use it as a race at their convenience and change the definition to any racial group from Africa, overglossing the fact that within Black American ethnogenesis, there are many that are indigenous to North America that have also been enslaved on their own land. And so that all of this was done to this is how you do warfare. This is how you goodness gracious. There was a guy named Antonio de Nebrija, Antonio de Brija, and he was a linguist, but he was also well versed in laws, well, in how you use language to conquer a people. And so he was commissioned by Ferdinand and Queen Isabella from Spain to do an investigation in the New World, in North America rather, and pretty much train the colonizers in legalese and linguistic warfare. So it pretty much had to do with forcing the name changes on people, forcing labels, putting people in racial categories, but renaming people, renaming the land masses, the ley lines, uh, delegitimizing the sacredness of the lands. This was all well thought out, but it started on the linguistic level. It did. It started. You had, and this was like they planned this. They sent linguists trained, like trained in at the PhD level to go and train these colonizers into and to legally being able to strip the indigenous of their land. So it was very methodical. Yes, this had to do with more science. We're not going to get into all of that, but the guy name is Antonio de Nebrija, for those who want to know what I'm talking about. And so for those of us who are thinking of these things in terms of when we talk about delineation, when we talk about ethnicity, obviously this discussion is going to come up. It's not something that you can denounce or belittle because you don't have the range to have the discussion, or because the narrative has changed even amongst the grassroots and you're not caught up to it. Now, do we share a link in being melanated, and is melanin uh probably top two minerals in the world, or two phenomenons rather, because melanin is a superconductor. It is a superconductor that can I don't want to go if I don't even know if we should be going that deep in that topic, but you guys know the about melanin. We don't need to go into all of that. But in terms of like uh you know the demarcation that the demarcation that Black Americans want to have is not based on disavowing the idea of being a melanated people, right? It's more so it's based on preserving ethnicity. It's as simple as that. Do I think it's pointless to get all into the weeds of it? It depends. For me, that's not my ministry, but I'm not going to judge other Black Americans who want to specifically make Black American their ethnicity. I personally feel like Black American is an ethnicity on its own that should be redefined at the federal level. Very simply, that it should relate to the group of people that have been here. Now, as it relates to the black racial status, that's something that I'm still researching. I'm still researching all of that, but I'm not here to get into the weeds or fight against my own people about what they want to call themselves. On the books, when it comes to the OMB, I would say out of the 8,000 comments, 5,000 comments were for the use of the term Black American. That is what is on the records. That is the evidence that they wanted the term. 5,000 comments out of the 8,000 wanted the term Black American, and they wanted it redefined to refer to those who have been here since the inception of America. So going back, I think it was like at least 1865 or some shit like that. But that was what won. Now they wanted to play stupid and play crazy and act like they didn't know what we were saying. Oh, you said you wanted ADOS, you said you wanted FBA, I said you wanted Freeman. Yes, there was a lot of people that caught up and said many other things, but on paper, the term that was requested was Black American, and I do think that should have been a separate category just for us for with a updated definition. That's not plebiscite babble. Like, but like what? And so when people come over from different countries, what they have been able to do is tap into that ethnicity and just say that they're Black American or African American, and then be able to get access to benefits and resources that they were not due because it was for a specific group of people, mainly those who descended from that dealt with the institution of chattel slavery in American soil. It's as simple as that. Those who have been here since the inception of the country, who built the country. That's what we know a Black American to be. And so it's not a far fetched argument for any Black American to be concerned about. Okay, well, what happens when all these other now that we have so many new melanated immigrants, even if we don't have beef with them, but all these melanated immigrants are coming over, and so what do we do? Like they're not in our category. They're not our ethnicity. So we need to update racial standards and categories for ethnicity. It's as simple as that. And that's what people were attempting to do at the OMB. And so when we talk about like abolish race, now we're leaving more so the ontological argument. I think I'm going to be very clear. I support Black Americans in their quest for delineation, even though with me, I believe that we should be delineated on ethnicity, but I don't feel comfortable fighting with melanated immigrants in terms of like, going back and forth with it. I don't have the energy for that, but I understand if others do. I don't, there's no judgment. And another thing is like if we're gonna be in agreement, like say there's melanated people that's like, well, we want to, you know, uh be able to have allies, and we need to be fighting as one, as a race, as people say, the Black race, whatever. I think that what's important going forward is that we unite on interests and goals as melanated people. So we figure out an organizing goal that we can center around, that we both care about. And then the next thing that should be is if we understand the power of melanin and get out of the construct of the racial category that the white supremacist structure created to oppress us. And so when I'm talking about abolish race, we're not talking about like, oh, I don't see color. We're all going to be colorblind, and the world is going to be rose gumdrops and shit. That's not that's not my argument. When we talk about abolish race, we're talking about this psychological phenomenon of breaking mental strongholds as it relates to the racial caste system that this system created to oppress our people. They've done it along racial lines. It was done along racial lines. It was done along class lines. It was done along the brutal travesty of American chattel slavery that has never even been redressed. It was done under Jim Crow. It was done under, and obviously we know the what happened over in Africa with their apartheid and the colonization of Africa and then the colonization of the Caribbean. And so when they've used the racial construct system to invert invert what it means to be dark skinned. Label everybody black, and you're at the bottom. And we're like, what? Change it to a status, do all these legalese and legal chicanery to fuck up the minds of people, brainwash you, all types of stuff, reclassify you time and time again. And so, what I need to know is what is the productive value of operating within their game? Because they like if you think of like the race as like a simulation, right? The definition of race means competition. That's literally the definition of race. And so they create this simulation with these humans and create in which there's this artificial racial caste system that says that the black people are at the bottom and the white people are at the top, and then you got the Asians and the Latinos, and everybody's fighting for the claw, the matrix system of resources. They think they get a hand over it, but the one thing they must do is sacrifice the melanated people. And so this is the simulation that they've created. It's a stupid simulation. It's inverted. It's not based on any logic. It's not based on any truth. And so here they have uh all of an entire system that is completely filled with mind control, so to speak, of all these people that are buying into this false system, be it white and black. Now, it's a very real reality. It does affect people's, the idea of the racial stratification system. Yes, it affects people's reality. I mean, just if you get stopped and frisked, or if you get denied a mortgage that you're due because of color, like we know the situation with 2008 with the subprime mortgage crisis that affected Black Americans more. Obviously, if you were dealing with the redlining with the FHA, so we can't just act like okay, race is just not going to affect us because it's embedded systemically within the system. Now, how do you start glitching that? Is if you were to build a parallel infrastructure on a very small level, but you have to do that psychologically first. Everything you goes through your mind and through your intention first. And so when we say abolish race, we're not talking about like, oh, let's actually start up an initiative and go up to the laws or the White House and go march and to go and abolish race. That's not what I'm talking about. See, like I don't operate in a 3D, 4D, 5D realm like that when it comes to like the way I think. And so when I say abolish race, this is just a simple psychological, like, I'm not playing y'all bullshit game. We're going to go by our ethnicity and our bloodline. We're going to uplift our culture. We're going to build our cultural pride, and we're going to build our own parallel infrastructures, our own parallel institutions. We'll do the best we can, and we'll follow under universal law and the law of God and the law of nature, and we will walk in truth and love, and that will be it. And we will build and we will conquer and we will thrive. And that's my thinking. This is a very psychological, spiritual work. Like, okay, they labeled us this. They said we were at the bottom. They said we need to operate within these categories when I'm a soul in a human body. I don't have time to work out what the with the US government corporation bullshit they do with they straw man and with they legalese and with their admiralty law. I don't have to acknowledge that. And this is the issue, because I know I want in particularly this old ass man is in his 60s is doing the work of the COINTELPRO shit. You know, you're having a problem with your following, and the grassroots is pushing back on you because they they don't see you're trying to get them, you're trying to placate your audience, and I'm talking about Tariq here. You're trying to placate your audience into respecting the confines of that hegemony's white supremacy. You're trying to get your audience to respect the government when the government does us dirty. And so your grassroots, your following is not going to just blindly follow you off to wherever you're trying to lead them. And they starting to wake up to see that a lot of this shit you be on some bullshit, to be honest. And so this just because on paper in the U.S. Census Bureau, they say that Black means any racial group from Africa. Black Americans are saying no, that doesn't mean that. Like, and they don't give a damn what it says on. And now, does it say that in federal law? Yes, it does. It does. And so, would it be a feat to go and have Black Americans change that? I mean, that's what they're trying to do with the OMB. That's the work that they're doing with the OMB. But even psychologically, if they are to say, no, like Black American means this definition, it refers to this group of people, then that's what it is. Then that's what it is. You put something under universal law, you remove it out of admiralty law, you just say, hey, this is de facto law, this is de jure law, this is common law. We don't have, I don't understand what you're talking about. And culturally, it matters. But then eventually that will dictate, what is on the books. Eventually. It always does. It's when you don't pay attention to the legal chicanery that people present or try to uh Jedi mind trick you with, is when you get screwed over. That's like what happened with Jesse Jackson and a small group of people in the black the black caucus, said, hey, we're going to use Black African American. We're going to use the term African American. That wasn't something that we went into a poll and voted on. It wasn't something that we all collectively agreed on. It wasn't something that we all collectively identified as. There was many Black Americans that never called themselves African American. It was many that knew that they're indigenous, so they wouldn't use that term. And it's no shade against the Africans. And so I want to make it clear, when we're talking about abolish race, we're just telling the melanated folk worldwide that to glitch a matrix system into just hear me out. If we're talking about a matrix system, we're talking about a computational algorithm that has to program the matrix, right? That's how you program a computer. So we're talking about a simulation. Now, I'm not talking about, like, don't go, oh, you're talking about simulation theory, you're talking about quantum mechanics. Look, we don't need to go that deep. Just follow me. If you have a system that is running on a certain type of program, it's the race program, it's the racial stratification program, it's the blacks at the bottom, the whites at the top. And we're calling this race. And if somebody comes with their program, right? Just look at this logically. There's a computer program of the race. Just think of this in the matrix. That program, the race system, blacks at the bottom, whites at the top. And here come melanated folk. They in the program, the matrix, and say abolish race. Bloop, you're glitching it. You're glitching it. Now, what are they going by? Their ethnicity, the power of melanin, the cosmos, who they are in connection to God, and who they are in connection to spirit and to nature. And we don't care about what a system is saying about white supremacy or race. I mean, who gets caught up in the skin color of someone in today's time? Only a low vibrating ass motherfucker, or somebody that's a race baiter that want to get paid to keep people on the black hamster wheel, or the white and black fighting hamster wheel. And so it's not, when we say an abolish race, it's not so much like, oh, we're going to abolish racism, because people are going to be low vibrating. There are people that are not spiritually evolved to look past the way someone's skin color is. And so we have to deal with the real world, you know. But we don't have to follow their rules and under the game of the confines of the simulations that they create. No, you want to go, that they want to go by race so bad, and they're white nationalists and white ethno state and all this stuff. That's their silos of consciousness. I don't psychologically have to engage with them or on that level. I can be the soul conscious being that I've been born to be as a melanated being, and roll with other melanated people that are like minded, and roll with my own ethnicity and my own lineage. Now, if my own lineage and ethnicity don't get it together, then there's other melanated people they'll rock with you. And so it's not to cause a divide just because someone is delineating, just because someone is building up ethnic pride as a part of the survival tactic in the US. That doesn't mean that we gotta be at beef or at odds with melanated people, but they're not Black American. You know what I mean? And we're not the same. And there's nothing wrong with that, because each ethnicity that is melanated, they contribute something great to the world, and this is not even just being cheesy, but like we've studied history. We know different tribes and different cultures and the different works of their culture, and even my own culture, and my own ethnicity. And so I don't feel the need to compete with another ethnicity or compare. I'm solidified into the lineage that I come from. And I know the greatness that was in my lineage, but also I'm not here to degrade or take or or downgrade someone else's lineage. But again, abolishing race is not like how y'all thinking. It's just more so like you got to undo these levels of mind control. So that nigga was making fun of me in his video yesterday. Tariq was like making like coming up with a whole again like it's real COINTELPRO-ish. And Black Americans, I want you to ask yourself like why when every time somebody gets into an argument with me in particular, you can go through my Twitter timeline and measure this against the people who just have, a disagreement with me. Notice they never ever have a counter argument. It's always an insult. And it'll be multiple insults, a range of multiple insults within one exchange. And so you can always tell like when you get them, they have to pivot because they can't stand on anything. And this is how these Satan minions work. This is how people that work for the other side, that's how they get down. It's like they never have a sound argument with any that's bringing forth their evidence, their thesis, their logos, their credos. Like there's nothing ever of this sort. It is always an insult. It is just literally an insult. And that is the tech. That is like a COINTELPRO tactic. I can't believe like people can't see that. It's like here someone is having a legitimate argument about like, okay, if whether I'll give you an example. Like my concerns about the 14th Amendment being challenged, and me knowing that the 14th Amendment was created for Black Americans. You have these COINTELPRO people literally gaslighting and acting like I'm just tripping, bringing up something because they gotta cover the fact that they sold this community out. And see, I was waking it up 3 weeks before the election that there was a bait and switch. 7 days after election, all the white boys started tripping because they realized the bait and switch was real. Like, okay, they literally all started like, yeah, well, this is a political bait and switch. I called it 3 weeks before the election, and it all played out. um Clairvoyance is a real thing. I've proven that literally live on the air that have clairvoyance with 123 public prophecies that are reviewed literally on a weekly basis, global events at that, not just like like little small like global events on a weekly basis. And I did stop because uh it I don't want to be studied in a way where people are trying to use what I was doing, against me. And so, like I said, I'm gonna just retire this aspect of my work publicly. Because again, I didn't feel like the public deserved deserved that, to be honest. But again, it's global events and it's all documented. And yes, I can see things that's even going on now. But when it comes to the fact that like they don't want people to question anything that this RNC is doing. Anything that like it's a group of RNC black shields that were on this Trump thing, and again, I'm the type where anybody has a right to, if you're big, to vote whoever you wanted to based on a principled decision. It's based on principles, based on what you think you can get out of the party or where you think you align philosophically, perhaps, or even what people should have been voting for was what was in their best interest in terms of tangibles, to be honest. Uh, and so that was pretty clear. But what happened is like what the idea was to make a strategic move in terms of how Black Americans moved in their politics. And so obviously there was a lot of disillusionment with the DNC and with the things they were doing, and rightfully so. There's a lot of people that were fed up with the Democrats. And so you know us being familiar with Trump, it was like, okay, we'll do Trump. And those of us that we're big on this Q stuff and the deep state, drain the swamp in the deep state. So there's a lot of people that were like, okay, we'll do Trump. you know but just because you may have more conservative leaning ideas, or you may, out of these two candidates that I think, I think that neither one of them were right for the job, if you ask me. But out of these two candidates, even if you say, okay, we'll go more with Trump, or people say the two of the lesser evils, Neither one of them were ideal candidates, if you ask me. Uh, Regardless if you preferred one over the other or edged over one of the other, what should have been done was the concerted effort to make sure tangibles get procured and what is the best option for Black Americans going forward. That was my take going into politics. Like, okay, that's but that's not what's happening. It's like, okay, we got Trump in there or whatever, but then you can't. It's like like no one is critiquing. Like none of these Black people are critiquing nothing that the RNC is doing. Like nothing at whatsoever. It's just like focus on the DNC. The DNC lost. They're out of there. What are you still focusing on that for? I don't understand. But then the problematic things that have come forth, even with the Trump's cabinets pick the epistemic issues of the Doge department that I foresee. Uh, and these weirdo cabinet picks. Not all of them are weird. Some of them make sense. Some of them just don't. And then also the bait and switch of even certain people coming around behind the scenes. Certain people, that in terms of funding Trump's campaign. The bait and switch of denouncing certain policies and then adopting them. The weird, I would say, philosophy of some aspects of the Heritage Foundation. To me, it's like I can't blindly just support the RNC, just like I can't blindly support the DNC. And so it's this expectation, this growing schism that I see in Black American culture, where there's a concerted effort to get Black Americans off the Democrat plantation and get them on a Republican plantation, but they're not getting anything out of the Republicans. They're not getting anything out of this two-party system, and they're getting nothing out of this two-party system whatsoever. And so that leaves me obviously with a bigger target on my back now than before, because it's like, okay, you didn't like the DNC, but you were supporting more of the RNC stuff, so we could still let you rock. But now that you don't want neither one, now it's like, okay, you're uncontrollable again. You're unpredictable again, because I don't think that neither one is. I think that Black Americans should be starting their own political party. I think that Black Americans should be creating their own policies, doing a lot of things they should be doing, paying off politicians, all types of shit. And we're not as organized as we need to be going into what I know that we're going to be dealing with. But nonetheless, I'm not. It's not. It's not. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. Like, we've been surviving, we've been doing what we can do, so it's not. It's nothing to get all up in arms about. But it's disturbing when you know Black Americans who want to point out, like, hey, Trump said he's against taxpayer funded reparations. Elon is saying he's against woke and that everybody's a descendant of slavery and there ain't no reparations. And they doing a little chicanery stuff. Like, they don't want us to point out nothing that Trump does. And that's really weird. It's really weird. Now, if he does right, then he does right. If he's doing good, like there's nothing to say, right? But if there's something legitimate, like, hey, why did he say that? Why did he put a post up about no taxpayer funded reparations? Why is he challenging the 14th Amendment on what grounds? And why are y'all talking about, why are Black American RNC shills coming around the grassroots Black Americans telling us that challenging the 14th Amendment is a good thing? I have the recordings. Tariq himself was one of the ones that was telling Black American grassroots that challenging the 14th Amendment was a good thing. He said they're getting rid of the 14th Amendment, and that's a good thing. And that's when I said, hold up, let me go and research this for myself, because I heard two people say that suspect. And so I said, well, let me go and research the 14th Amendment and see why are they saying that's a good thing. Because I'm like, the 14th Amendment was created in 1868. It was ratified in 1868, and it prefers the formerly enslaved as it relates to making you a full citizen that with access to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. That is the argument. Now, the government probably was misinterpreting that to their benefit for, you know, immigration, but that amendment is not for immigrants at all. And so the simple thing to do would for the judiciary courts to make that clear. It doesn't require an executive order, whether that been a Democratic president or a Republican president. And so it was like y'all were trying to make it seem like it reduced, like, because that's when they got all the COINTELPRO people out. And I recorded this whole room. There was a whole room that I had brought this conversation up in, and I had to record the whole room because, like, it was so many things that people said that outed themselves. And so I do know, like, if this is to blow up, I'm going to obviously bring that clip out. I'm going. I have the whole room recorded, and like the things that was said was just like wild. Like people really, like it's really like something very sinister going on in this community. Um, and 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 people are getting paid by these political parties, and I think it's both the DNC and the RNC. People are getting paid by these political parties to sell motherfuckers out, and it's as simple as that, or to usher you on to a whatever agenda it's going to be, and then for the next 4 years, whoever then took a deal with whatever party, you can't say nothing for the next 4 years, and that's what happened with the DNC. Like when they had got Biden in there, they never said anything, you know. And so I noticed that that's what's happening on the RNC side, and this is why, like, okay, I guess they're like, okay, we have to go after this girl. Those on that side have been coming after me more than usual because they realize, like, okay, you blowing up the spot. And it's not me intentionally trying to blow up the spot. I'm like, dude, why is Trump talking about, why are he talking about challenging the 14th Amendment, which is a law that was for Black Americans, giving us access to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights? What is there to challenge? Okay, if we talking about the misinterpretation of that, that's not for the president to challenge that. That is for the courts to literally state that this is for immigration, that this is for Black Americans. If they wanted, if they are using something to benefit another group of people, then we have that goes through the judiciary process. Why would there be an executive order to challenge or whatever they're trying to do with this 14th Amendment, instead of, if the concern is immigration, instead of just doing an executive order on a moratorium on immigration? And so, that was what I was bringing up in Mel's room. The reason why, not, it wasn't Mel, it was Booby's room. The only reason why it came up is because I was literally, before I went in the room, I was literally studying it on my computer, and so it was fresh in my mind. It wasn't like I was trying to derail the room. It was literally on my computer, and I'm like, yo, what's up with this 14th Amendment stuff? And I was worked up about it. But again, that I recorded that space because it pretty much, if someone who's really intelligent, who follows just logic and what people say and how people resorted to insults, or people try to gaslight me, like, you know like I did have no merit to bring this up, because pretty much it lends credence to, like, the idea that people will take a buck to sell a community out, or take a buck to look the other way. And that's what's being unveiled. And I'm telling you, like, one day, when all this stuff that I know, that I'm seeing play out, that they trying to keep the lid on, so they gotta hurry up and tell all the Black Americans, Kylie crazy, she crazy, because they gotta keep what they did under wraps. They have to keep what they did under wraps for as long as there was not supposed to be somebody that's supposed to be around looking at that stuff. And so, the room that, I guess, the space that Tariq did, where he's bringing me up again, that space is, I recorded that space. I did, and I made it clear to Booby and I'm like, I'm recording this space because this is excellent evidence as to what I'm saying, in terms of when people they clearly show that they didn't understand the 14th Amendment. They had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. But it doesn't mean that what I'm saying, just because the other people are not well researched on something, or didn't take the time to look into something, it doesn't mean what I'm saying is wrong or what I'm saying is crazy. And that's what we're going to go over today, right now. And so, when Tariq was, when he brought up my name in that space, um, it didn't, like, I had to, it's like, what kind of narrative are you trying to paint, and who is paying y'all? And I had said it. I'm like, dude, I know y'all get paid to discredit me, but you cannot say that the 14th Amendment is not for Black Americans, and you cannot say that I'm wrong to ask, why would any government challenge the 14th Amendment. Why are they challenging it? Whether that been a Democrat that was in there or a Republican that was in there. I don't give a shit about these political parties. None of them give a fuck about you. So I know y'all took that payment and y'all got to be on the RNC dick for the next 4 years and act like they don't have a plan to pretty much annihilate us, just like how the Democrats had a plan, just in a different way. The RNC has a plan too, and they working together behind the scenes, and I'm gonna stick to that. So if they feel like they got to come after me now and go on hard, because Tariq, he know that what he has done, he told the grassroots what to do. Now many you know, it was the choice, the candidates that for this election was a doozy. It was a disgrace. Like who, like honestly, like these candidates, neither one of these candidates would have been ideal candidates for Black Americans, for many Americans. It's as simple as that, especially that bait and switch that Trump pulled. His own MAGA supporters is pissed off at him for what they see his cabinet picks. And the things that you said you were supposed to be draining the swamp, they don't let no swamp getting drained to me. I made my peace with it. I admitted 3 weeks before the election, look, I don't know about all this. I can't, I don't, I'm not a follower like that. If I see that there's a bait and switch or something don't sound right, or if you said one thing you did, and I'm looking behind the scenes and I'm seeing different people around and I'm seeing different funding, that you getting different funding, or I'm seeing you trying to like hide certain aspects of the campaign and what you stand for, and so no, I'm not rocking with neither one. And just because somebody critiques the RNC doesn't mean that they're a DNC shill. Both of these parties should be critiqued. We don't tore the frame out of Biden's ass. We tore the frame out of Kamala's ass, and we gonna tear the frame out whoever ass is not doing the right thing or is doing some funny style shit, even if that is Trump. I didn't take a check from these people like y'all did, where y'all walked our people off a cliff and gotta act like and try to cover it up and act like everything Trump do is good now. Like that Project 2025 is not gonna affect us. Like that Heritage Foundation shit. Which what grassroots Black American? What Black American? I don't even authentic Black American, because I can't even stand that term, because I'm telling you, this stuff is all coming from like think tanks and shit. But what Black American would agree with the shit that the Heritage Foundation stand for and what they do? Besides, obviously, more the conservative elements of child rearing. Nothing that's in that stuff is stuff that we would stand for, but nothing on the left either. Like y'all, they went, both of these political parties are extremists. Like the left is extreme, the right is extreme, and Black Americans need to have their own political party. It's as simple as that. This was the work that Tariq should have been doing. Why he want to discredit me, and I caught that nigga stealing my content. Again, you may not like a person, or you may disagree with someone, but just because you disagree with someone don't mean that you are entitled to your own facts. You are entitled to your own opinions, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You can't just insult your way out of everything just because you can't hold your weight against a sound argument. And you got to try to cover up the fact that that person see you for what you are, and the rest of the community, they may or cannot see it yet. But people saw the bait and switch of the political parties, and how none of these major influencers challenged those bait and switches. None of them called it out. None of them negotiated for more. Whether the DNC bait switched at the last minute, they didn't negotiate for more, and then with the RNC, they didn't negotiate for any major agenda. In fact, the stuff that we did have on the table, such as the platinum plan, that became magically for everybody now, and they covering that up. It's not like a lot of people know that. So there's been an agenda switch. Trump said he wasn't for Project 2025. Then he adopted many elements of Project 2025 and the Heritage Foundation, and then put it on in some of Trump the Trump Agenda 47. And so people have a right to call out, things that they concerned about. And anybody that's saying they want to challenge the 14th Amendment, on what grounds? If it's a misinterpretation issue, then shouldn't that go through the judiciary courts? When you say executive order for challenging this 14th Amendment, whether that's a rumor or not, people going to ask questions. It's just common sense. So let's look at this. First, let me make sure that my sound is still good, because I do know that with certain topics, yes, they cut it off. First, let me make sure that my sound. Okay. So obviously, I guess there's something in the 14th Amendment where that it could possibly make Trump constitutionally disqualified from returning to the White House. Which I don't think that could be the element that they were challenging. But again, the Black Americans who are coming among us saying that they're challenging the 14th Amendment and that's a good thing, they were saying it from the lens of immigration. And so that's where I needed clarity on. That space that I spoke in is entirely recorded. And the way in which people handled themselves and the ways in which the things that they said, it let them know that they are totally, totally uneducated and totally unaware of how gutter this government has been to our people. And so like y'all try to play me for calling out stuff, but when Obama took Negro out of paperwork or Negro out and gutted y'all ethnic wise, y'all didn't know until later on, until it was too late, until he was damn near out of office. It was only certain Black Americans who were sophisticated that caught it, but that was hidden. Just like in 1994, that crime bill that had taken place, and how that affected Black Americans. But the damage wasn't done until we didn't really see the effects until way, way after. But during the time, there was many Black Americans that were calling for that bill, particularly the Black Caucus in 1994. Um, when Jesse Jackson went in the 1980s with this African American stuff. Again, they changed all this stuff in law. You didn't know about it. You weren't aware of it until 10, 20 years later, maybe even 5 years later. And so you got to understand that if you know that there's a history of our government doing that, the biggest one was Obama removed Negro out of law, right? You didn't know about it. No, the grassroots Black Americans didn't know about it. You didn't protest to stop it. Nobody knew. Maybe some boule niggas knew. Maybe some that's in politics knew and tried to do something about it and didn't work or whatever. But the average Black American did not know until after Obama's ass was out of office. Same thing with the dangers of the hate crime bill. Same thing with the changing of the legal federal definition of African American in law. You didn't know about it. You didn't know that Black meant racial group from Africa. You all thought it was your ethnicity. So why is y'all trying to play me when I say what the fuck why are they trying to challenge the 14th Amendment? For one, they telling us is about birthright citizenship. Then they talking about it's because Trump can be disqualified. Then you got another group talking about it's because it's immigration. Somebody's fucking lying, but y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And I need to get down to the bottom of it because the 14th Amendment is for Black Americans. And so that was the argument. And so when I'm talking and people are like, oh, it sounds like you scared to be deported because they got to cover up. They know that they sold our people out. They know that you ain't gonna get shit for these next 4 years, and that they're gonna do a lot of rollbacks. In fact, and it's not just a matter of we've always dealt with racism. It's like, okay, yeah, we know hardship, we know racism, but yeah, we've always dealt with that. But you don't purposely shoot yourself in the foot and set yourself back 100 years and set yourself back to where these people they're not thinking of you or looking out for you or becoming one with you. They let it know very clear in that 900-page book that they got. They let it be known very clear in Project 2025, which I didn't read until after Trump was elected. And guess I apologize to the Black American community for that because I should have read it before then. And yes, I apologize because again, Trump said he wasn't going to. He had nothing to do with Project 2025, and that he wasn't going to endorse it, and that he had nothing to do with it, and that he'd been thinking about it. And so that that still gave me ease. Like I'm like, okay, and honestly, again, that bait and switch I saw, there were elements of Project 2025 that got adopted. And so I'm like, hold up. So that's when I said, okay, I'm not feeling comfortable just blindly supporting these RNC motherfuckers. Like if we got to start our own third party, which I had been asking for a whole year, I wasn't like I am on record, public record saying, hey guys, I think we should be starting our own third party. I think we should be checking out this two-party political stuff. We don't have it. None of them are meeting our needs. We're not getting our agendas met. None of them are taking us serious. And this is not a matter of like, okay, the RNC shows more political sophistication. They are more politically sophisticated than the DNC, but then you're thinking that you're playing a game with them, and they getting okey doke in your ass, and they telling you straight to your face what they gonna do. And there is people that took a bag. They had to because they wanting to cover up this shit so bad. It's like they don't want to question nothing that this man is doing, which you want to give people the benefit of the doubt. I ain't got no beef with fucking Trump. Shit. I don't have no beef with these people. I don't think like the people that told y'all to vote for him, I have been supporting him longer than than them. I saw a bait and switch. I can't be the only one if there's MAGA supporters and people who were former Q that are saying the same thing I'm saying. Y'all should be listening to us because we've been around since 2018. Y'all should, when we're saying like, hey, these cabinet picks, like, hey, what the hell? Like, nah, I ain't feeling that. Like, nah, this is some other agenda. Like, we don't want no technocracy. Like, we don't really care that you brought around Elon. Like, we not rocking with this. Like, this a whole nother. We know these bloodlines. Like, we study shit. Like, we really dive deep, on what's going on with the digital ID and the cryptocurrency, and we looking at you know, some of the plans that y'all have, these freedom cities and whatnot. These are nothing but more than 15-minute cities for those who don't know. Yeah, so we studying some shit and we kind of looking like this is not the same Trump from 2016. This is not the same Trump from 2017, from even 2020. I don't know about this. They got blackmail on you or they don't replace you, you know. So we're thinking. So this is not like a DNC shield, and that's why they don't know what to do with me because they like, yo, we can't just she ain't no DNC shield, like So but my thing is, Black Americans, y'all don't need to be dick riding on neither political party. Like I should know better by now. It's been 400 years. You ain't get shit out of these people. I don't know how dare you question me, trying to make it seem like I'm crazy for questioning Trump's challenging of the 14th Amendment, even if I had certain details up wrong about it in terms of like what exactly he's challenging or it's just an interpretation of the 14th Amendment. That doesn't need an executive order. We need a moratorium on immigration. And then for the Black Americans to sit up in that space and make it seem like I'm just losing it, and I'm like, man, y'all have no idea. Like these people, they're not playing with us. Just like they removed Negro off the books and your ass didn't know. Just like they labeled you African American and said that Black is any racial group from Africa and your ass didn't know. When they start messing around with that 14th Amendment and find a way to gut something that you benefit from, and you thinking that you want to go and fight for reparations or your right to assembly or your right to, and matter of fact, let's just go through the 14th Amendment. And so obviously, as on your screen, you see something relating to again, I was trying to figure out what exactly is his issue with the 14th Amendment or the RNC's issue or Supreme Court misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment, whatever it was. Okay. But obviously you see it on your screen that there was a lot going on with it. We still don't know quite. Again, when they be muddled like this that makes me suspicious. When you can't find when you find three different sources relating to one phenomenon and it's relating to this 14th Amendment, which I just showed you, the three sources. The one of them is that he could be constitutionally disqualified under the 14th Amendment, so they're challenging that. Then it was something about challenging birthright citizenship, and then it was something about challenging uh, immigration because people were uh, who were naturalized in America are using the 14th Amendment. When you start seeing shit like that, and it's different articles and I've read three different articles relating to that. It makes me suspicious because they know that Black Americans are not going to go and research what the 14th Amendment is or how it relates to them. And so we'll do that here now because again, when it comes to me, I'm a very thorough person. I know that, Tariq is telling his audience that, oh, I'm crazy. Oh, I'm crazy. My thing is like, I find it mighty coincidental that you have to always insult. There's always a straw man argument or an insult when it comes to me. No one can ever break down or counter argue what I'm saying. They never can do that. It's always just have to, and that's really some COINTELPRO shit. Because I've caught Tariq copying my shit, documented and released it all to the public. Again, just because someone is blacklisted or lesser known doesn't mean what I'm saying is untrue. And that dude is bought and paid for it. And like I didn't want that to be true. Like, and as far as like in this video he was saying that he brought up the MK Ultra stuff. He has to again, this is just the typical discrediting that thing that they do. I've been a targeted individual for 10 years as someone that has been an activist in a certain sphere. And so if someone is controlled opposition and you got to find a way to get someone out the paint, however mechanisms or whatever ways you do that, and which is the ways in which you do that. One of which could be obviously a character assassination, literal assassination, this financial blacklisting, regular blacklisting, but also just labeling them crazy. And also DEWs, like they have the CIA has all types of stuff. Like they got stuff, man. And so, however people want to hold that against me for speaking out on being a targeted individual, and I've collected the evidence. It's all public. I'm an author of 20 books. I am a scholar. Um, you know, I've been an activist. I consider myself, I didn't really think of it as activist, but the work that I've been doing would fall under that category to a degree. Um, and they go after, like anytime you're a scholar or an author and you're not under their machine or under initiated under their secret societies or under their oath or under or won't have their handlers or whatever, they gun for you. It's as simple as that. Everybody knows that. I'm an author of 20 books that owns all of the 100% of the intellectual property to all of my books. uh, Even with my school, 100% ownership. Now I have to still deal with the financial blacklisting and interception aspect of those things, but it's my shit. And so people that sold out or people that are in Hollywood, they feel some type of way because I'm not allowing nobody to be my handler or to pimp me out of my intellectual property or resources or the gifts that I have. So be it, because I'm not going to sign no contract, because I don't want to take no oath, because I don't want it is what it is. But but then to just say, like, just write the person off as like, oh, well, that person is crazy. I mean, none of y'all really fucking with me on that level, intellectually or spiritually. And I don't throw that stuff around at people, but I've literally seen, like, anybody can review my Twitter time interactions with people. It's always an insult. And I'm very humble. It's not like I'm being arrogant or anything. It's like they always have to just use an insult. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're dumb. Or but it's never like, well, why aren't you addressing the argument? It's like, here are the facts of the argument that the 14th Amendment is for Black Americans. It was created in 1868, and it grants us the Bill of Rights to formerly enslaved people in the Constitution. And so I literally read the whole, and mind you, all of this is documented. The whole room was recorded, right? That the room that Tariq was referring to. Um, we read the whole amendment, and then I ask, and particularly the Black people who were saying that Trump challenging the 14th Amendment is a good thing. And Tariq was one of the people that was telling Black Americans this. And I'm asking other people that were telling these RNC shills who were also telling Black Americans this. And I said, well, what exactly is he challenging? What exactly is in the executive order that he wants to do? Then it was like, oh, it doesn't want, it was just all over the place. Nobody could give a straight answer. And again, the responses of those people, like, you have to be able to do a reversion intelligence analysis on what people do. So that's pretty much, you're looking at the covert subconscious mind of people's words and their actions and what they say. And if it lines up logically, you literally have to follow like a formulaic uh equation to understanding the subconscious mind. Very few people can do that, you know. But the reason why I recorded that space is, was like, yo, if I was to like publicly like just break down like logically like how like this shit is not making sense. But see, Black Americans, if you appeal to Black Americans emotionally, you'll be surprised the amount of game that people run on my community. People just run game, oh, and it'd be so bad. And I'm like, come on, wake up. And then if you don't follow the group think, or if you come at somebody that people like, or if you people want to keep their bag or be in a popularity contest, they won't stand on integrity, they won't stand on anything. They'll all turn on you to make it seem like you shouldn't be calling it out. But it's like, no, like, I can see something here, and you guys are like, I don't know what the fuck, how much did they pay you, motherfuckers? Because I'm like, how could y'all not see it? And so, you know, um, Tariq know that his following is seeing some bullshit that he's doing. It's like, you went and told all our people to vote for the RNC with no agenda, and yeah, the consolation prize could be immigration, getting them immigrants out of here, but the DNC did a bait and switch to close the border too, You never negotiate. If it was about truly getting tangibles for our people, when they offered them packages at the last minute, you would have demanded the same thing from the RNC, or you would have renegotiated for more from the DNC. None of that happened. That's suspect. That's like you want some RNC shill shit. And so you're not negotiating a plan for our people to the RNC, and then you're not questioning anything that they do. And so when you go and tell Black Americans that, okay, yeah, getting rid of the 14th, whether you misspoke or maybe you didn't research it well enough, if you didn't research it well enough, then that's one thing. But you can't go and try to demean everything, or okay, let's do a whole discredited campaign on what Kylie J.N.S is saying. See, she crazy, guys. See, she's bringing up something that don't matter. Oh, the 14th Amendment's for immigrant. They just started lying in the room. Oh, that's because it's for immigrants. Oh, that mean you just mad because you can get deported. Oh, you must be an immigrant. This is literally what my people would, mind you. My genealogy is public information, and I did this because the reason why, like, I'm more public than when I say this, like, I share more publicly than probably what is smart to, or than what the average human should, is because I have to deal with discrediting smear campaigns that go on behind the scenes, whether that be in back channels and group chats, among silos of people, where they have to do whatever they have to do to make sure that Black Americans do not find out or listen to me. And because a lot of the information that, like, it'd be heavy shit, like, and it'd be accurate, and they don't want people to dive into, like, okay, what the hell is this person who wrote 20 books, who went like I went to Columbia University. It's not like I'm just some quack out here just spewing nonsense all the time. No. uh who the person who himself, who brought me up in his space, I caught him copying my shit. This idea of the ethnocide and all this stuff was put in a book years ago, before it came until, like, these spaces. I wrote about it in a book. And it was called Alchemy Reservoir of Black Americans. The Alchemy Reservoir of Black Americans was written years ago. And the stuff that is in that book is stuff that this nigga is out here spewing. Tariq, who brought me up. And there is things, like, I'm not going to get into all of that, because he knows he's getting his karma. That's the only reason why he's bringing me up, because I'm telling you, man, 25 years, this dude has been in Hollywood. And if you think I wanted to believe that this person could be a op, or be whatever, or suspect, it's, that would be the last thing I wanted to believe, because I'm not here to just degrade people or to tear people, you know what I mean? I'm not here to tear people down. That's not even my style. And so, like, mm, you see what you see, man. And like I said, time tells all. I'm done with. I've been saying the same thing. It should be obvious now. And again, yeah, you have to present a facts in an argument if you disagree with someone. But just because you disagree with them, don't mean that you can just say, "Oh, that's plebiscite babble." Oh, that's and oh, that doesn't make sense. And I'll show you um some examples just within the last 2 weeks of some things that I have said publicly, and how it's been implemented just already. If it was such plebiscite babble, mind you, I'm just gonna show two examples of what I mean by, like, I be saying shit. My community won't take the alley hoop on stuff, but these white folks and these other people, they'll take the alley hoop of what I say and go and build a whole little initiative and policy or so behind it, and then they get an alley hoop, and then we caught once again holding the bag, because we got, like, it's a lot of gatekeepers. For one, it's a lot of gatekeepers, and two, there's a lot of people that don't want to stand on integrity. Like, it's like, if you throw money in our people's face, like, man, the people that they will sell out, and the oaths that they will take, and and the ways in which they will compromise themselves just for money, is unbelievable to me. It's totally disgraceful. It's literally shocking to me. And so I have to express myself more than usual publicly, because there's literally, like, smear campaigns, like, oh, she's this, she's crazy, she's this. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just give my argument on my own platform. I'll just write a book about it. I'll just show. So it's not like I want to be so expressive, but I know for a fact that when you're a targeted individual, they got all types of access to your apps, access to like different your devices and all types of stuff. And so they always be one step ahead in terms of trying to paint a narrative, especially if they want to do a smear campaign. Again, I'm not talking about any one particular person. I'm just talking about the engine, the system itself, the COINTELPRO system itself. And so I have to always kind of be like, okay, well, this is what it really is. Like, this is my argument, and I can explain that to anybody, and what they're doing now is they're so afraid to let me speak. Like, and again, I recorded this space where it's like don't don't even speak, because there is just, they don't stand a chance. They know they got caught. I'm telling you, they're gonna get caught with their hand in the cookie jar. It's like, what y'all gonna do 4 years from now? Like, Black Americans is waking up this soon. What are y'all gonna do 4 years from now? How are you gonna maintain? Because these people, Black Americans, are going to realize that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party is both full of shit. They don't have nothing for us. They working together behind the scenes. Y'all got a shadow government. We know that y'all ties with the CIA and the secret society that's running this shit. And they gonna get tired of it. What are y'all gonna do? Like, come 2028, 2032. Like, it doesn't, like, if and I'm telling you, like, a lot of Black Americans realize the bait and switch too. They may not be speaking about it as much as I am, because they don't want to make enemies, or they don't want to get blacklisted, or they don't want to piss anybody off. But y'all see that bait and switch. Y'all not dumb. Y'all may be playing dumb, but y'all not dumb. And so we know that they did a bait and switch. If the white folks is calling it out, white folks are way bigger platforms than me, that are not DNC shields, by the way. They did not vote for Kamala. And they saying the same thing that I said 3 weeks before the election. Then yeah, you may want to pay attention. Y'all late jumping on this Trump shit and all this stuff, but thinking that you're making moves and being strategic. And these people, they don't show their hands like how you think they do. But you should know just from history. And so the Black American community, you should never shame me for having a question about the 14th Amendment if there are Black people coming among us telling us that them getting rid of that 14th Amendment is a good thing. Now let's review it. It says, the passed by Congress on June 13th, 1866, was ratified July 9th, 1868. The 14th Amendment extended liberties and rights granted by the Bill of Rights to formerly enslaved people. Following the Civil War, Congress submitted to the states 3 amendments as part of its Reconstruction program to guarantee equal civil and legal rights to Black citizens. A major provision of the 14th Amendment was to grant citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, thereby granted citizenship to formerly enslaved people. Another equally important provision was a statement, watch this, that nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. The right to due process of laws and equal protection of the laws now apply to both the federal and state governments. On June 6, 1866, the House of Joint Resolution proposing the 14th Amendment to the Constitution was submitted to the states. On July 28, 1868, the 14th Amendment was declared in a certificate of the Secretary of State, ratified by the necessary 28 of the 37 states, and became part of the supreme law of the land. Congressman, primary authors for section. Okay, here we go. Intended that the amendment also nationalized the Bill of Rights by making it binding upon the states. When introducing the amendment, Senator Jacob Howard of Michigan specifically stated that the Privileges and Immunities Clause would extend to the states the personal rights guaranteed and secured by the first 8 amendments. Historians disagree on how widely Bingham's and Howard views were shared at the time in the Congress or across the country in general. No one in Congress explicitly contradicted their view of the amendment, but only a few members said, okay, let's go here. Not only did the 14th Amendment fail to extend the Bill of Rights to the states, it also failed to protect the rights of Black citizens. A legacy of Reconstruction was determined the struggle of Black and white citizens to make the promise of the 14th Amendment a reality. Citizens petitioned and initiated court cases. Congress enacted legislation, and the executive branch attempted to enforce measures that would guard all citizens' rights. While these citizens did not succeed in empowering the 14th Amendment during Reconstruction, they effectively articulated arguments and offered dissenting opinions that would be the basis of change in the 20th century. Okay. And so this was for Black Americans. And again, it was to grant citizenship, particularly the access to the Bill of Rights. Now, is this enforced? I would say through like common law, like it's enforced in the sense that you're able you're granted access to that Bill of Rights. So actually, let's look through the amendments itself. So Section 1, all persons born or naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof as are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the protections of the law. Okay. Yeah. So all persons born or naturalized in the United States. So I guess the misinterpretation could be the term naturalized in the United States, but then you would just do, I would say, perhaps an executive order or even some sort of law that states that those that have that are naturalized by way of, say, their parents given birth to, say an immigrant giving birth to a citizen on American soil, that it would not apply to them. You just come up with a law to say that doesn't apply to them. That's not what the 14th Amendment means. You guys do know that. Anybody that's reading that what's in front of you, you guys do know that this bill does not cover an immigrant who has a child on American soil. That is not how that if that is how they've been interpreting the 14th Amendment, they are totally out of pocket and they've been playing us like they always do. And so that doesn't mean that you go and tamper with the 14th Amendment, what was created for Black Americans that gives them rights to the Constitution. And again, you can say formerly enslaved. If you're not formerly enslaved, then I'm not talking about you, but the formerly enslaved that did not have access to the Bill of Rights and to the Constitution. There's 1866, 1868. And so this inherently does not relate to immigrants at all. You guys do know that. And so if the courts had misinterpreted that, then they need to be sued. Then they broke the law. Then they need to change it and they need to update their law. That doesn't mean you go and do an executive order on the 14th Amendment. That doesn't mean you go and challenge the 14th Amendment. That doesn't mean that you go, because this language, this bill is not, this has nothing to do with immigrants at all. It has nothing to do with deportation. It has nothing to do. So how could anybody? Why are Black Americans on a recorded line? Which I got the video clip for. And again, there was people in that space, particularly Art, that were saying we don't need the Bill of Rights. I don't care about the Bill of Rights because we don't like this is recorded. Like this is how they was. I'm like, how much are y'all getting paid to discredit me? Where you will out your stupid ass mouth literally tell on a record, like literally say, we don't need the Bill of Rights. All I need is the first and second one. We don't need the Bill of Rights. That means you don't know what the Bill of Rights are at all. And then say, oh, it was never enforced. Bitch, do you use free speech? Do you have the right to bear arms? Aren't you a legal gun holding don't you have a permit to hold a gun? Don't you have the right to assembly? Don't you have the rights for due process of law? Don't you have the right for the government not to run up and take a property? What the fuck you mean you don't care about your Bill of Rights? This is on a recorded line. Then I said, okay, so you saying you don't care? Then they say it sounds like you scared because you could be deported. That means you worried about that because you could be deported, bitch. This has nothing to do with immigration. They are trying to Jedi mind trick you. So y'all would believe these white folks after 400 years of them dicking you around all over the place took out Negro behind your back. But when they talking about to your face, we about to challenge the 14th Amendment, and it's a bill that directs directly towards you. It has nothing to do with immigration at all. I don't care what the judicial the judicial courts misinterpret it. And your only thing is to say, I don't care about my Bill of Rights, and oh, we don't care about that because we can't be deported. Dude, it has nothing to do with deportation and immigration. If they do anything that fucks over just even a tenth of a little bit of this 14th Amendment, do you know you could be screwed? Not just Black Americans, even though the bill is for Black Americans, but it's that's like that's when you really are looking at like the end of an empire. Like, are you kidding me? And so then it was like, okay, now you're just fear mongering. Okay, now you're just crazy. But it's like, well, why y'all trying to cover up this so bad, and why y'all taking issue with me pointing it out? And then when I then it's like, well, what you think they're gonna do? Put us back in slavery? Dude, not technical. Oh, you get your ass on a plantation, pick some cotton type slavery. Technocracy is real. I mean, when we talk about neurolinguistic programming, see, that stuff is so high level. It's like it's not even worth talking with it with the community. But and it's not because it's like y'all disrespecting me. It's not because I think I'm better or you can't understand me. It's just like I know for a fact that y'all would gaslight me on something that is so serious. It's like I have that I recorded that space and I seen how y'all literally said we don't care about our Bill of Rights. We don't. what they gonna do? Put us back in slavery? What you gonna do about it? Now you just need to get out there and fight. Now we tired of y'all sitting your asses. Now we can get out there and fight. Why would a and this is like, man, this is some sad ass shit, man. And I'm screaming from the rooftop like, dude, y'all got moles among y'all. Y'all got controlled opposition. Y'all niggas is getting sold out. And it's no different than what the DNC has done. Like them Black Caucus niggas, how they was doing that shit to us and dicking us around for all them years like that, never doing nothing for us. But you about to really see how this other side roll. Cause I mean, whew, man, they gutter. And they don't have the pedigree. And so they don't have no integrity. Like neither one do, neither side. And I would tell the grassroots Black Americans, don't follow none of these niggas. I'm telling you, make your own decisions. If I pray to God that a grassroots Black American, that authenticate Black American comes up, like this with their own, like real, like whether that be their own political party, whether they be their own real movements, authentic movements, not psyops, not Masonic stage theater, not not controlled opposition type shit. Like I really hope, because man, from what I'm seeing, our community, we the last of a dying breed. Like it's really nobody out here that's willing to just stand on truth to the end. Like that shit hurt my heart seeing that, and then to have the room recorded like that, and I'm playing it back. I'm like, yo, these people are sellouts. Like either that or they done got paid to take. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. What they were defending didn't make any sense, and what they were trying to explain, they didn't either have the range to explain it, or but then the whole thing is like, okay, here go Kali. Okay, she's an op. How? I don't come around y'all spaces. I don't talk with y'all motherfuckers. I don't be all up in I stay to myself. But we should be able to ask a question as to why do they want to challenge the 14th Amendment, and why are Black RNC shills gatekeeping Boule shills for the RNC, telling Black Americans that that's a good thing. What's a good thing? Why are y'all going out repeating shit that y'all don't apparently are not well versed in? And why are you telling your following that? Are you reading from a script? Are you being paid? And so yeah, people is looking. I'm telling you, what y'all gonna do after these 4 years is up, when Black Americans realize what the fuck I see in the first? It's not even here yet, and I can see that y'all don't jacked our people around and done set them back, and y'all got to cover it up. But what happens in 4 years? What are y'all gonna do? I mean, what's the plan? Because yeah, y'all might successfully just undermine me, or just discredit me, and to tell all the Black Americans, oh, she's crazy. But eventually they're gonna see, like, damn, that what that girl said was true. Damn, what we seeing it play out right before our eyes. What are you gonna do? It's like, that's only gonna work for so long. Every argument that I ever get into with people, notice they always say that, but they never ever have a counter argument that's with a logical framework. Y'all see me ragtag Trump's advisor with Pastor Daryl Scott. He got thrown around like a fucking rag doll. And for Ribs, for you to get up on that stage and act like, nigga, you not talented, you not smart. You get put. We know how y'all niggas get put on. You dick in the booty niggas. Like, we know what y'all got to do to get put on. And so don't you y'all sitting there acting like Ribs, really, you gonna try to play me? Y'all niggas follow me. And take concepts and steal ideas and strategies from me. Y'all don't have nothing enlightening that y'all talking about, nothing sophisticated that y'all talking about, nothing that's going to mobilize our people or get our people from A to B. Y'all don't say shit. Y'all don't talk about shit worth a damn. None of y'all don't plan shit. Y'all don't come up with no frameworks, no blueprints, no nothing. If Reeves, you're not talented or smart at all. Like, I don't understand. I don't. And I'm like, you sit up there gonna get up and co-sign Tariq calling me crazy and stuff. Y'all niggas y'all niggas can't fuck with me. And Tariq, he about to. I'm telling you, but these 4 years is up. This nigga gonna be looking crazy, because he the one that they put that battery in y'all back to go out there and dick ride Trump. And they about to tell you to your face, we don't give a fuck about none of you. You better wait till 2026 come. Y'all better hope that prophecy that I saw in 2026. Y'all better hope that. And mind you, I got a smooth track record of predicting global events on a weekly basis, and it going coming to pass. that's publicly documented, literally public. The president of Iran. Yeah, I predicted that 3 days before he died, right live on the air. Yeah, y'all know that benefit payment glitch that had 500,000 Americans having to go to the food pantry. I predicted that 3 days before it happened, live on the air, and then reviewed it, and it happened. Yeah, mad shit, mad predictions, mad like. Just like I said 10 months ago, Trump was going to win. All these psychics, all these prophets, all these people were saying Kamala was going to win. Yeah, I said 10 months ago, we already knew that Trump was going to win. But, you know, he did some things that violated the will of the primordials. And so uh, all that was taken off 3 weeks before the election. So when we say you're about to see a lame duck presidency, oh, y'all about to see, because the primordials are not in that anymore. Now we getting spiritual. The energy that's needed, uh that was going to be able to have that be a smooth ride, they fumbled that when they did that bait and switch on this community. When they did that bait and switch and thought that nobody would catch it, or the sellouts or whatever, yeah, but Tariq, he has to reduce the work that I do, and I mean, he has to cover up for himself. I mean, he's out here looking suspect. I mean, it's been 25 years. People eventually will see. Time tells all. Time tells all. And I'm not here to drag nobody name through the mud. I know some shit. Secret societies is real, and this nigga do got ties to some shit, and it is what it is. And people don't have to believe me. I'm not here. My work stands for itself. My body of work stands for itself. Yeah, I think I'm the only one in 250 years of this country's inception that come up with a military science framework for melanated people in America as well as in Africa. And seven state attorney generals inquired about that work, as well as one of them boule gatekeepers that said that the government was interested in my methods, my military science methods. But I published that for Black Americans. The book Entrusted Melanism is a multi-tiered framework that allows for melanated people to develop strategies based on interests and goals on the tribal level. Then they can reiterate it at the regional level. Then they can reiterate it at the country level. Then they can reiterate it overseas when need be, based on interests and goals. And there are certain strategies and techniques in which to do that. So I wrote a book on it. Obviously, all my stuff is shadow banned. Tariq is behind one of the shadow ban blacklisting, because again, they don't want people like you. You're supposed to just be placated Black Americans, not questioning this system too much, going along to get along, willing to sell your souls to get put on, and to go into how to just be obsessed with money and not think too hard, and be in this matrix. And so certain people that come along and start to see things and point stuff out, point pro-Black controlled opposition out, point how we've been running around in circles for doing the same thing for decades and not getting anywhere, point how you know certain Black men who need to get promoted are not getting promoted, such as Claude Anderson and Neely Fuller. How people get blacklisted and even killed, such as like Nipsey Hussle and Darren Sills, and who's around them at that time. It's a lot of suspect shit that's going on in this Black community, and we should be a lot farther. And so I said, what's going on? Like, it's something not adding up. There's got to be a layers. Yeah, we know the boule is a layer. Yeah, we know, we have our own network against us as a layer, right? And you got tentacles and appendages of infiltration within every Black American movement that happens to be organic on some level. They'll find a way to infiltrate, they'll find a way to neutralize, they'll find a way to distract, they'll find a way to discredit. For certain people, say with me, it's like, oh, it's your crazy thing. But they had tried to do assassination attempts. They had tried to done uh, financial blacklisting, regular blacklisting. Obviously, it's your crazy thing, your crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Um, and again, the way that the government works when it comes to the COINTELPRO Project Phoenix program that they have, which is COINTELPRO 2.0, but it deals more so with psychological warfare. It deals with no touch torture, deals with DEWs. It gets deep, and there's research on this. You guys can look up the chief of the FBI. His name is Ted Gunderson. he confirmed that this program exists. He talked about the intricacies in which it was carried out, whether that be through secret societies, corrupt neighborhood watch groups, Department of Homeland Security, CIA. He talked about all of this, and then he was killed, of course. But it's becoming more of like a mainstream topic now to talk about, targeted individuals and subliminal programming and how occultists uh use subliminal programming on their audience. Like it's nothing. This is just common sense, and so there'll be less elusiveness. There will be less, obscurity around this topic eventually, as more and more people speak up, as more and more people realize, what I'm talking about. I'm always early on things, and this is not like, again, I'm not I'm not an arrogant person. I'm willing to learn. I'm not above reproach. When I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong. When I don't know something, I admit when I don't know something, and I don't know everything. But I do know that a part of my style of reiterating um credentials and my argument uh, uh and me making sure that I'm following a logical framework and making sure that I'm always documenting things is because there's a concerted effort to just do a smear campaign on me. Again, they don't want people waking up too much, you're supposed to be, they want to control two birds of the same, the two wings of the same bird. That's all it is. And with me, I'm not willing to protect the core deception. I'm not willing to be controlled opposition. I'm not willing to lead people off no cliff. If it don't sound right, if I don't see no truth in it, I'm not gonna go and repeat it. I'm not gonna be bought and paid for. I'm not taking blood money. I'm not signing no weird ass contracts. And so that leaves me on the outs. I know eventually other people will wake up to what I'm seeing. It's a lot of people that know what the fuck I'm talking about now. They just playing dumb. They gotta play dumb, or they got to be disrespectful and just insult. You know, that's the respectful and just that's the play for me. That was what the doctor ordered when it came to me. Let's just say she crazy. Let's say she crazy. But ain't none of them niggas gonna debate me 1-on-1. They can't. They have to. Uh, the best course of action was probably to ignore, but then they realize, okay, the girl's platform is still growing or somewhat, so they got to go back to the slander part. They got to go back to the slander part, and so I'm okay with that. But again, you're not entitled to your own facts. You're only entitled to your own opinion. And so you better, when it come with me, I'm not going to be mudslinging. I don't have to uh degrade people and insult people. Here's the argument. Here's my question. Here's the evidence. Do you have a dispute? How do you defend yourself against this, or what is your argument? Why are you telling our people that getting rid of the 14th Amendment is a good thing? Did you not research it? Did you get paid, or did you sell our people out? We need to know. We need to know. So they got mad at me. So now they about to go overtime on my ass. Oh, she crazy. She crazy. See, she said that. That was, So Tariq, shame on your ass. Like you in your 60s, dude. It's a damn shame what they turned you into, Flex. It's a damn shame, homie. And like I said, black people, they know your audience is not stupid. And see, I think he got a little shook up because it's a lot of black men that started calling him out as far as like that whole situation with the black thing. I had nothing to do with that. I thought, that we were kind of over that whole discussion of, okay, was the melanated immigrants black? They're not black American. They can't come over here and usher themselves into our ethnicity. And black American is an ethnicity, and the OMB should change that. And the government is wrong to hodgepodge everybody into that ethnicity. That we all can agree on. Like that, what is so plebiscite babble about that? That's the argument with the OMB. That was the whole work of the OMB. But we know how this government dicks us around. And so with me, I'm like, I'm done with. I'm just so out of y'all system. I can't even deal with your little stupid matrix system because it's too low vibrating. But yeah, that wasn't even something that I brought up. I don't know if maybe he thinks I'm the one that's pulling the strings behind bringing that race the race argument stuff up with the is the validated immigrants black. No, I had nothing to do with that. We said years ago that they were okay. We made it established that we would delineate and we would go by black American and they would go by their ethnicity. But the thing is, now there's this. Well, but black is only for Black Americans, and well, the thing is, in Africa, they go by their ethnicity. They all have the same phenotype, so they wouldn't go by race. So the Africans themselves go by ethnicity and by their tribal lines. And that's a good thing. And so when we talk about abolish race, we're talking about like glitching the system, a racial stratification system that operates as a proxy caste system. And you do that by developing your own tools or your own appendages. By that, by that we're talking about your own parallel infrastructure, your own right to self-identify, your own gatekeeping, your own cultural creations. That's our counter to that. It's not to operate within the confines of the laws that they give us, what they dictate to us, what they say we need to do. And so that's what your following understands. And these Black men are men, and so they understand it. So they're not, and they realize that they're doing their genealogy and they realize they're indigenous, and they're not about to listen to nobody tell them, hey, y'all all got to share this race. This is what you thought was your ethnicity is now your race, and everybody get to be. They're not gonna give a fuck what the hell the government is telling them. And so, Tariq, that's what you need to understand, and you need to have a better argument and a better a way of how of what you're gonna. You can't just say, "Oh, that's Plebiscite Babble. Oh, that's an ops. See, they crazy." That ain't gonna get it, nigga. Because this is your own following that's speaking up. And people, and they not say nothing. They may not say anything, but people see how you moving, and they seeing how you acting, and people gonna want to know. Yeah, why did you tell Black Americans that getting rid of the 14th Amendment was a good thing? Now let's finish, because we're gonna finish covering covering this actually. So we got the Bill of Rights. Okay. Now here we go. We already read section 1. So let's go to section 2 of the 14th Amendment. Representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to the respective numbers, counting the whole numbers of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxable in the right to vote in the election for the choice of electors for president and vice president of the United States. Representatives in Congress, the executive and judicial officers of a state or members of the legislature thereof is denied any of the male inhabitants of such state being 21 years of age and citizens of the United States, or in any way abridged except for participation in rebellion or other crime, the basis of reputation. Do you see anything about immigrants in here? Do you see anything about deportation in here? No. Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative of Congress or elector or president or vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as any officer of the state, as any member of any state legislature, or as an executive or a judicial officer of any state, a supporter of the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to enemies thereof, but Congress may, with a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. The validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by the law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and penalties for services and suppressing insurrection or rebellion, should not be questioned. But neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States, or any claim for the loss of emancipation of any slave, but as all such debts, obligations, and claims should be held illegal and void. Whew. They didn't get it. Man, this is some crazy shit. The Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. So you guys, you saw me read the 14th Amendment. You've read nothing about immigrants or deportation. So again, don't reduce my argument when I ask, why are Black Americans telling us that challenging the 14th Amendment is a good thing? Don't try to say you're just scared of deportation and immigration because you got to cover up being a fucking sellout to your people. This bill is for Black Americans. You heard nothing that I read. We are on archives.gov. Nothing that I read said anything about immigration. Now, if you're talking about this term naturalized in the United States, this was created in 1868. And we're talking about the U.S. Corporation. Even if you're born on the land, you could be formerly enslaved. Unfortunately, when and in their paperwork under their admiralty law, the formerly enslaved did not have access to the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. So the 14th Amendment allowed you to have access to that. Now, we talk about naturalized United States, we're talking about the corporation, your straw man. And birthright citizenship does not refer to immigrants at all. This was created in 1868 for the formerly enslaved. Now, mind you, have many indigenous that were enslaved on their own land, you know? And so as I was bringing this up, and so the Black Americans kept saying, well, you just scared because you're gonna get deported. Because I'm scared because of access to the Bill of Rights. So as you can see, it says Reconstruction program to guarantee equal civil and legal rights to Black citizens. You see that in front of your fucking screen. Look at this. Nor shall any state deprive any person of liberty or property without due process of law. Okay, but intended amendment to nationalize the Bill of Rights. Now let's look at the Bill of Rights. So you can see why I was freaking out, because I'm like, if you trust these, I mean, if I'm telling you, you niggas try to play me and try to make it seem like I'm just tripping, but it's like, do y'all want to be sold back into slavery or not? And then we're not talking about slavery of whips and chains and you want to plantation. We're talking about technocracy. We're talking about a digital ID. We're talking about a social credit score. We're talking about there's other ways to enslave a motherfucker. We're talking about them 20 freedom cities that they getting ready to build. Freedom cities, the 15-minute cities that they're getting ready to build. This digital federal currency that they about to that you got to have a digital ID. That Neuralink chip that they about to put, that they don't that Dr. Oz even condones, chips in the brains and shit. Y'all better wake up, man. And no, we ain't on some conspiratorial shit, but when we talk about like how they'll go and remove little certain stuff, like they did Negro, and you are aware of that. If they go in and just even just gut just a tiny bit of anything out of this 14th Amendment, whether that be birthright citizenship, which is relation to the monarchy and crown of indigenous birthrights. We're talking about birthrights of Black Americans who were enslaved and born on this land. It has nothing to do with citizens. I mean, that has nothing to do with immigrants. And if the concern is with immigration, where's the moratorium on immigration? Executive order. Where is the executive order to end a citizenship in which a parent who's an immigrant have a baby on American soil and they automatically become an American citizen? You just have a law. Where's the law to counter, to remove that? If we know the 14th Amendment don't mean that shit at all, that doesn't mean that. It literally doesn't mean that. So if they were purposely misinterpreting, they were purposely breaking the 14th Amendment, then what they did was illegal. And so they need to not tamper with the 14th Amendment, but they need to come up with a law to stop uh the citizenship, because calling it birthright citizenship is the wrong term. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, these people will use legal chicanery over your head constantly and get you to shoot yourself in the foot and then laugh. Oh, you didn't do nothing about it. Oh, we told you. We told you. You didn't say anything. Matter of fact, they got Tariq out here telling people getting rid of the 14th Amendment is a good thing. You know, and so you have to be careful what you go out there and repeat, or what is a script, because you're under contract or under oath. You don't sign the contract with the RNC or whatever. You got to read whatever they say, but don't you did that, but the grassroots didn't. So authenticate Black Americans didn't do that. So if we got to question shit, we can question whatever the fuck we want to. We don't care if it's Biden's ass or Trump's ass. Who the fuck is y'all? The government's for the people, by the people, and we obviously we respect the, when they're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing, but if we see something that we don't have clarity on, we have a right to ask a question. You will not be the no DNC version of the no RNC version of the DNC shills. Y'all niggas can kick rocks with that, because I'm not fucking with neither one of that shit. I'm not fucking with neither one that can't keep it real and stand on truth and integrity. And you can't be transparent with our people about what the hell y'all discussing with them about us and what y'all doing up there. They trying to make it seem like they got access like that. They ain't got the respect of them people. I know how them people think. You have no idea how mechanistic they are. They're very mechanistic. They have zero emotions. They don't have none of the, and they know they you have no idea how cruel, how ruthless these people are thinking. All while with a smile on their face, and a pat on the head of you Negro, pat on your head and whatever. Even they got to pay you to lie to your people, to set your people up. We have no idea how these people think, to sit and just follow them off a cliff like that, and how controlled opposition works, and how stage theater works in terms of keeping this system going. And just because somebody can see the computational algorithm of how it works and glitch it, or realize that it's bullshit, it doesn't mean I'm the bad guy. I'm just early on shit. But let's look at this Bill of Rights, Black Americans, because y'all was in the room. Art, uh, you niggas was in the room literally saying that y'all don't need the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is nothing. We never needed it anyways. And see, I'm telling you, I do not consent and I do not comply with no such thinking at all. Because they gotta tell you what they doing before they do it. And if you go along with it and it's all out there, that's on you. But they let you know. So that's why I say I don't consent. I don't comply with nothing in Project 2025. I will not consent and I will not comply with nothing that has to do with the undermining of my lineage and ethnicity on any record, whether that be through what you guys call government efficiency, or what you guys call a challenging of amendments. Anything that has to do with anything that undermines my birthright, that undermines my citizenship, that undermines uh, me as a sovereign human being, as a citizen of America. I do not consent. I do not comply with any form of any forms of slavery under any forms of contract law or admiralty law. No, I'm not. I'm not dealing with that because the law is the law. And so when we talk about these Bill of Rights and how that 14th Amendment gives us access to that Bill of Rights, I'm not just going to blindly say, okay, yeah, let's get rid of that. I need to know, like any thinking human, like any thinking intelligent being will question, hey, what do you mean get rid of the 14th Amendment? Wait, that was some shit that was created in 1868 for Black Americans. Hold the fuck up. What you saying? We got to challenge what? Oh, because it was misinterpreted. Bitch, you misinterpreted. So stop misinterpreting. That don't mean you go and tamper with the shit that protects my constitutional rights and my access to the Bill of Rights. But for you niggas that said, Art, you in particular, I'm calling you out. You said you didn't need nothing but the First and the Second Amendment. Let's see about that. Let's see about that. So you said you guys sat and said you don't need no Bill of Rights. Let's look at it. Okay. So obviously, your first Bill of Rights. You know what? I want it more concise because this is like the old version, and I just kind of want something that's more concise. But you can see it on your screen. But let me look to see because I don't want to have to read all of this. Okay, I'm going to go the Bill of Rights, a transcription, the U.S. Bill of Rights. Let me just go here. Here we go. Here we go. Because I'm like, wait a minute. But we saw somebody because there is some articles, yeah. Article the fourth, a well-regulated militia would be necessary for the security of the free state. The right of free people to bear arms should not be fringed. Okay, so let's go through all of them. Amendment 1. This is your Bill of Rights, the U.S. Bill of Rights. You see it in front of you. This is what, in that recorded space that I recorded, where I question why is there Black RNC shields telling Black Americans that getting rid of the 14th Amendment is a good thing, and what exactly is being challenged, and what is exactly there being an executive order being done on. I need to know what all that is. And so that is the U.S. Bill of Rights in front of your screen right here. Let's see, Black Americans, do you agree? And we just went over the 14th Amendment. We just confirmed that that was for formerly enslaved, that'll give you your access to the Constitution and your Bill of Rights. Do you agree that you do not need these things? I say that we do. You tell me. Now, if anything happens to that 14th Amendment, you lose access to certain things. And it's not going back in slavery. This is not fear mongering. I'm just telling you to question shit and don't let nobody to play on your top. Don't easily just let these people roll back everything that they're gonna try to do because they are gonna do. They're gonna try to do a lot. And that's why I keep saying, yeah, certain people sold our community out. Why do you think this nigga all of a sudden want to say my name? Because people starting to see like, dude, what the fuck is you doing? You want some RNC shield shit? It ain't got nothing to do with me because I'm not the one that brought up the abolish race shit. I'm not the one that brought up the black argument stuff. Come on. I'm writing a book on probability distribution and military science. I think I really got time to sit and argue about some damn black who calling themselves black, and we already cleared it 2 years ago. We already said what we said 2 years ago, that Black Americans was just for Black American ethnicity. It refers to us, and that's it. That's what we said on the books. And psychologically, yeah, you can abolish race. You ain't gotta go fight no initiative on no legal aspect. Just tell these motherfuckers, yeah, we going by our ethnicity. We going by lineage. Get the fuck out of here. That's what you gotta do. They chase you around. You don't chase them around. Y'all know that. But Black Americans, let's look at this U.S. Bill of Rights. Amendment 1. Congress should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. You niggas that love social medias, that love to be on the YouTube, or the right of the people to peacefully to assemble and to petition the government of redress of grievances. So that what does it say, Black Americans? And to petition the government for redress of grievances. Ain't y'all talking about petition the government for reparations? So I'm gonna ask why the motherfuckers is challenging the 14th Amendment, whether that been the DNC or the RNC. I don't care who it would have been. I don't know what the fuck who do y'all think what do y'all think this is? So yeah, I would have said I'm gonna know why y'all want to challenge the 14th Amendment. You read it right on your screen that the 14th Amendment gives you your access to your Bill of Rights. So what, you'll never critique the government again? Your right to assembly. Now look at this. Amendment number 2. A well-regulated militia, while being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. That's your ability to start your militia. That's your ability to keep and bear arms. So y'all don't want to be able to defend yourself and bear arms? While you're in the recorded space, Art was saying we don't need a Bill of Rights. And then they try to play me and act like I was just crazy for bringing this topic up, for questioning why in recorded spaces are Black people telling Black Americans getting rid of the 14th Amendment is a good thing. Amendment 3. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. That protects you against unbridled martial law, pretty much. Martial law, that means they can come up in your shit and take your shit and sit up and take over your house and sit up in your house. This protects against that. You saying you don't need a Bill of Rights? Amendment 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, house papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing a place to be searched in persons or things to be seized. Black Americans, don't you like your privacy? Do you want to be subjected to unreasonable searches in your motherfucking house? Do you want your rights to be violated, where anybody can come into your house and just and search everything and see what needs to be seized? So you don't need that? Is that what you're saying? Hmm? Let's keep going. Amendment number 5. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in rising in the land or naval forces and the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. No shall any person be subject for the same offense to be put twice in jeopardy. Come on, that's against double jeopardy. Okay? That's what protected O.J. Simpson. That's what's protecting, that protected many Black Americans from getting tried twice. You gonna say you don't need that right? Because you want to shield and take and sell out your people and take money for to just to be a unthinking slave to another political party, just like how the people do with the DNC. Why is it so important to try to discredit me is what I want to know. What do I know? What do an author of 20 books on heavy esoteric topics that they want to shadow ban and keep covered up? What ask yourself why are they so, why do they have to go and tell everybody that this lady is crazy? But if you go and listen to the lady herself, the girl is quite genius. Why is Tariq running around telling his audience that? Now Tariq told y'all that the 14th Amendment, getting rid of the 14th Amendment, was a good thing. But I'm literally proving that without that 14th Amendment, you lose your access to that Bill of Rights. Now, for those who wanted to cover for him and play dumb and try to play me in that room, uh, yeah, I'm reading these Bill of Rights. They sound pretty damn important to me. I mean, your freedom of speech, your right to bear arms, your right to form a militia, your right to question the government, your right to fight for reparations under the form of grievances and redress. Yeah. Your right to not have martial law just come up and sit up in your house, the right to unlawful searches. Yeah. The right to not have double jeopardy, to be put twice for a crime. Nor should look at this. Nor shall you be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So check, you were saying you only need the first and two second Second Amendment for the Bill of Rights. Did you want your private property to be taken for public use without just compensation? Isn't that what they do with Black Americans before? You just want to give all your rights up like that? What the hell is y'all doing? And I'm not saying that is what's going to happen or that's what is theoretically the case. We're just talking about a hypothetical situation in which my simple question was, why do they want to challenge the 14th Amendment? Why is Trump talking about an executive order to challenge the 14th Amendment? What exactly does he want to go to court and actually say in regards to that? And they gave me three different answers. That means three different answers. So that means somebody don't know what the fuck they talking about. And that means somebody is covering up some shit, something not sounding right. Something isn't just not sounding right. And so, yeah, I have a right to question that. How could you try to discredit someone that's of a Black American lineage and try to make it seem like they just fucking crazy for asking literal about a bill, an amendment that was created in 1868 for those who were formerly enslaved to give them access to their Constitution and the Bill of Rights that makes them American citizens. Now, the term birthright citizenship that referred, I mean, if you were on this land, you were born on this land, has nothing to do with naturalized. But we're talking about the difference between the governance of a land and the government U.S. corporation, their admiralty law, their contract law, your certificate of birth. That's when you get into all of that admiralty law shit. They got it set up very intricately. But you don't just willingly go and shoot your. Oh, well, we never had this, and we for art to tell people that none of the amendments were enforced. These Bill of Rights are not enforced. None of the amendments are enforced. None of them. So yeah, so O.J. Simpson not get so O.J. Simpson being acquitted, and if they didn't have this Fifth Amendment, they would have gave him they would have did the double jeopardy thing on him. But this amendment protects against that. How could y'all say what is we really doing here? I mean, if y'all sold out and took it back, just let me know so I can just move on. Somebody just send me the memo. This even talk to me in code. Just say, you know what, we took the bag, we sold y'all out. Sorry guys. Like, and so I can move on. And if that's how y'all rolling, and this is just all it is, it's just a bunch of sellout niggas looking to play the game and to 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 stump all over everybody to get to the top or whatever the shit y'all thinking y'all about to get from this system, this Tower of Babel. Uh, I mean, y'all let me know because y'all this can't be. And even the people that I thought were serious, or the people that I thought were like, okay, yeah, this person is still gonna stand on business. This person's still gonna stand on integrity. This person's still gonna stand on the truth. Like, it's like y'all not gonna. These people don't give a fuck about y'all, and I can't wait till y'all see that shit. And y'all have no idea the lessons that they have for y'all to learn too. Y'all better hope that my clairvoyance is all fucked up. That little vision that I see for 2026, y'all better hope that I'm just tripping. I better hope that. Now that one I do have to say, there's certain visions that I be praying like hell that I'm wrong on, and that is one of them. That is one of them. That one I'm hope that I'm wrong on. Just like I hoped I was wrong about Tariq being controlled opposition. Yeah, why would I want to be right on that? Why would I want to why would I like like I'm sitting here at cognitive dissonance like a motherfucker, not wanting to believe what the fuck I see in front of my eyes. Thank God other people were that really did the research because I didn't even want to do the research. Other people had did the research, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stop. I gotta stop being in cognitive dissonance. I gotta stop, trying to justify and try to excuse away what the fuck that I'm seeing. Like, yeah, I don't know how hard that was to speak up, to call out shit that I've seen that's being done in this community. People change, At one time, maybe somebody was really about something, and then people change. And I had always said nobody is above reproach. I'm not above reproach. Nobody is above reproach. Like, I don't understand why people think that just because someone critiques you doesn't mean they're a odd. Like, people critique me. The people that have critiqued me, that don't necessarily make them op in many cases. It depends on how it's done, and it depends on where it's coming from. Is it coming from You can tell when somebody is legitimately just out to just destroy or take you down. You'll be able to know the difference. You can tell the difference. But just because somebody gives a critique or somebody points out something that's very alarming and suspect, don't mean you get to just insult. Oh, that's a op. Oh, that's an agent. No, defend yourself, nigga. Why you tell these people that the 14th Amendment was a good thing? Why you didn't call out that bait and switch? If I saw the bait and switch 3 weeks before the election, I'm a smart motherfucker. Okay, but there's many other people that are too. Why I can't have been the only one that called it out? And then all of a sudden, even his own supporters started to call it out too. The bait and switch of the RNC. What did y'all do? You know? And then every time we call that out, now it's like, oh, you a DNC shill. Oh, you just wanted to vote for Kamala. Don't nobody give a fuck about none of them niggas. And we know it's all Masonic stage theater anyways. We already know that these motherfuckers is selected, not elected. Neither one of these motherfuckers can run a damn country good. They all got handlers. They all part of the club. And they can't really do nothing or say nothing or make no shake. These niggas was stealing strategies from my damn channel that I was giving them freely. Sometimes I would say, hey, use this, use that. Sometimes, any strategy that I would give Trump, the DNC would take. And then they would botch it because anything that I'm giving out on the internet, I know as much as y'all think I'm oversharing or I done told all my business, it's a fine art of letting people think that. There's a method to the madness. Even the books that I write, people think that, man, if I only told you about 125 days, and y'all think that I actually spilled the beans on things. I actually spilled the craft, or I spilled the knowledge. Get the fuck out of here. Anything that's out there, that shit if you looked hard and researched enough, you'll be able to find it yourself, for one. And the things that remain a mystery. Nothing that I gave out was so. And it is, and as much as shadow band as they got me, I'm like, damn, they must be really afraid. And there's that little bit, that shit wasn't nothing. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't really gonna be teaching much. Especially I was gonna go deep into the probability distribution science of entropy, and we were really gonna get into quantum. But I feel like I would end up giving out a light code to help these people figure out the damn equation they need to get up out of this damn firmament. I ain't even chancing it. So we ain't going. Sorry guys, like we gonna have to. That book was literally almost done, and so I'm like, shit. I gotta probably code it more or obscure it more to where certain people at a certain level can get it. Or either that or not release it yet. But yeah, as far as like Tariq's discrediting campaign and oh, she's crazy. She's somehow uh she was sending me these emails. No, don't try to make it seem like you brought up the tut language stuff and you said subliminal comments about tut language, and I called you out about it. And then I literally did a video showing how subliminal covert techniques work in terms of how these masons work. Like they they don't work like the average person works. Like when you try to discredit someone or you need to build up, in my case, it's either one of the techniques they use: the crazy technique, the psychological warfare technique, literal death, or literal financial blacklisting. And I went through multiple of them, but I'm saying like the last step that they are at now is this psychological one, where now they know good and hell well. I could send out for the people that want to discredit me so bad were the same people that were, oh, you're so genius, oh, you're so genius, oh, they copying the ideas, they copying and stealing your shit, right? But that's the last frontier that they can use before, I guess, before they try to ramp up again. Um, but yeah, the people will see for themselves. Time tells all. I don't have to sit and explain nothing to you niggas. Y'all are very smart. Black men are very smart. They gonna realize that what you did, Tariq. They not dumb. Like, so yeah, they could be defending you now, or oh yeah, they gonna cover for you now. Cause y'all in the brotherhood, you gotta cover for each other. But they know what you did and they know what you about. And so re-ups, yeah, come on, nigga, don't even try it. Don't even try it, nigga. Y'all will get smoked, and y'all know it too. But That's a damn shame. When them niggas gonna find out what y'all did. My best suggestion is for them grassroots niggas, y'all better hurry up and when it do come out, because I'm telling you, these next 4 years are gonna be a shit show. I know y'all thought y'all had y'all big one, but Lord have mercy, do y'all not know what's coming? And there's a lot of prophecies and stuff that got messed up in the spiritual realm in relation to this election. And somebody has to pay for that. Ain't got shit to do with Kamala because, she damn near was about to get her ass tore out the frame by the primordials too. But yeah, the bait and switch was enough for them to pull out, and we can't operate within the confines of such a corrupt system, anyways. Now, if y'all want to sit up there and be on that hamster wheel, Black Americans, and think this government gonna give you a shake, I mean, I hope so. Shit, I look, I'm an open-minded person. And so I'm willing to give anything a chance to see what will work and what will not work. I don't not saying that, oh, my answer is the best answer. We fought. No. If somebody got a better way, I'm always open to hear people out, But a lot of that stuff, it ain't what you think it is. It's not. And them people, they got orders, man. And if they got it, they like I said, time tells all. And it's so sad. It's so sad to see such the time that we are in that is so obvious to me, and to see people trying to keep it's like somebody trying to keep people's minds caged or minds locked, with this matrix shit, this race stuff. Why you think Tariq don't want to abolish race? He could have got a book called Race Baiter. We get rid of race, it's like how he gonna get his little monies, and he owned by them folks with his little contracts. Like, well, how his hustle dries up. And so, you know, if Black Americans decide to go by lineage, but also more importantly, if they decide to build their own parallel infrastructures and start to think of in terms of self-governance and self-determination, and start to think in terms of empowerment on a real level that does not hold or protect the core deception, that is not based on controlled opposition, that is not based on time looping or uh thinking one thing is liberating, but really it's another element of the panopticon prison. No. Like, at what point do we want? You keep saying, okay, we're behind enemy lines, and we got to do this, and we got to replace the system with a system of justice. Like, at what point do we? Where's the plan? Where's the blueprint? Like, where? Okay, we had enough of the DVDs. We had enough. We understand anything that you're gonna put in a DVD nowadays is some shit we can look up on YouTube, or some shit we can go on Google now. Anything that you're gonna put. And a lot of these YouTubers, these content creators, they making these little documentaries and putting these little clips together and shit on the YouTube. People go look at that before they gonna go and pay for some shit nowadays. And so, you know, this ain't no knock at nobody's work, because I'm not the one that's subliminally and it fucking with somebody on some controlled opposition shit. I spoke out publicly on it. Was it the smart thing to do? No. That was me losing that warfare battle in terms of not understanding the power of psychological warfare and how vicious COINTELPRO is. If I known and saw what I saw, I should have just kept quiet about it, because now it's like, now they can use that as the big time discrediting thing, when I know that through documented research by the CIA itself, that certain things such as remote viewing is real, astral projection is real, quantum teleporting is real. All this stuff is real. It's like the Department of Defense and the Department of Army. All this research is just freely available to the public. Now, some people naturally have those gifts, some people don't. But like, yeah, the CIA dabbles with that shit, and yeah, yes, that's there's nothing but the occult. It's been around for. It's something that is like well researched already. So it's like Tariq is banking on hopefully the grass. He's thinking that his audience is so dumb that they won't go and research that stuff. Or if, okay, here she's just crazy, and so they won't. go and bother to look into the 14th Amendment themselves, or they won't look at the Bill of Rights themselves. So he's telling people that the 14th, getting rid of the 14th Amendment is a good thing. You know, he's telling people that getting rid of immigration is a consolation prize, but they didn't have anything on the books to redirect closing that border and the resource allocation from getting rid of immigration. We don't have nothing in the books that redirect that back to the Black community. We need something in policy that would have solidified that for us. And see, people said that, but they didn't fight for that. And that is what is suspicious. And see, Black Americans, they not dumb. They can see that. They can see, like, hold up. Yeah, we gonna get these immigrants out of here. Yeah, we can get rid of immigration, but once they're out of here, where's the guarantee that we get an office for Black Americans, that we get the resource allocation that there was given to them? How do we ensure that? The RNC ain't talking nothing about no such thing. And so Tariq had to deal with them people, whatever, and he led his following off that cliff. And I'm telling y'all, when this shit backfire, y'all better be willing to throw that nigga under the bus, because I'm telling you, they got and I ain't even gonna say nothing else, because I'm not allowing them to be show. I'm not allowing. I don't want nobody to know what I know. I just, because then they gonna go back behind the scenes and try to cover up. So I'm not saying shit else about it. I better hope that them visions that I saw do not come true. That's all I gotta say. Um, but again, it wasn't an ideal situation. This election, I mean, terrible candidates all around. I mean, come on, absolute terrible candidates. Huh. But that don't mean go and be don't leave the Democrat plantation and go on a Republican plantation and don't question them. Hell no, you don't get nothing out of them, and they are racist, and you can feel their energy, like both are. And so it's like, why are we not holding them both to the task? And then you can say, oh well, that's because we gave them our vote for 60 years. Okay, but they are done. They're out of office. We got the RNC now, and the RNC is talking about challenging the 14th Amendment. The RNC is talking about this Project 2025 shit with all this archaic, puritanical bullshit from the Heritage Foundation. They're bringing around, certain actors that don't really care about the things that the Black American community cares about. They don't. And we're talking about the cabinet positions. We're talking about the people that fund the campaigns. And so nobody's going to call out none of that. Then why are you saying you fighting for our people? Why are y'all saying y'all looking out for our people? You're supposed to call out any bullshit that you see that can threaten the legacy or the lineage of Black Americans. Why are y'all unwilling to do that? I'm not the bad guy because I'm willing to do that. Because I'm seeing bullshit and I'm like, no, we got to call this out. So let's continue with looking at these amendments. The next amendment, it suits at common law or a controversy shall exceed $20. The right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise examined in the court of the United States and according to the rules of the common law. That's the right to a fair trial, right there. Look at this. Excessive bail shall not be required. No excessive fines imposed. No cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. So, Black Americans, you saying you don't need that? That's what you told me in that recorded space that I recorded the other day. You said that. So you okay with them giving you excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishments inflicted? Hmm? So this is what you said. You said you didn't need the bill. I better go on, and I'm gonna show you some other shit too. Look at this. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights should not be construed or denied to or disparage others retained by the people. Here's the next amendment. The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited to the states or reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Okay, so again, this all sounds pretty important to me, Black Americans. You need your Bill of Rights. You need your Bill of Rights. And you need that 14th Amendment. That 14th Amendment ain't got shit to do with no immigrants or deportation, none of that. It was equal civil and legal rights to Black citizens. It was for formerly enslaved people. And even when we look at the language of birthright citizenship, birthright refers in admiralty law. Man, y'all better know how this system work. Ooh, I can't even get too deep on that because then y'all gonna be trying to reduce my arguments again to bullshit. but y'all better study masonry. Birthright citizenship is not what you think. Now they use the term birthright citizenship to mean immigrants who have a baby on his land or some shit like that. But nah, when it comes to 1868 and the way that they use that language, that's some shit that ain't got nothing to do. This has to do with bloodline. And so if there is such a term, we say the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2021. Look at it. Here goes something right here. They just need a law to fix whatever bullshit they did. See right here. This is the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2021 is not the same shit that we read in the 14th Amendment. Okay? And so this is the bill that says if a person has a parent that is born a U.S. citizen or a national law, that they get citizenship, right? That's the law, the Birthright Citizen Act of 2021. See, this has nothing to do with the 14th Amendment, okay? So the term birthright citizenship in the 14th Amendment in legalese, as it relates to Black Americans, relates to birthrights of the crown and birthrights of indigenous sovereign body, birthright citizenship. We're talking about your birthright in a very literal sense, guys, in a very literal sense. That has nothing to do with what you see right here, which is the Birthright Citizenship Act of 2021, which relates to the immigrants. And remember, a Black American is not an immigrant. Okay? 14th Amendment is Civil Rights 1868. So just because you may see the term birthright citizenship in 1868 don't mean it had the same meaning of this bullshit uh, Act of 2021. And see, this is what they're doing to Jedi mind trick people to get people all confused. So it's information overload. You dump people a bunch of information and then they don't know which one to choose and pick. See, I'm not like that. I sit through things very, very fast. And so that's why they have to pull the she crazy thing now because these people could rarely get shit past my motherfucking eyes. Even if I'm being over dramatic, what if I'm misunderstanding what exactly they're challenging? What if it is harmless to us, whatever they're trying to challenge? That can be the case, but I'm still going to question it and I still need an explanation of it. I have that right. What if it is nothing? Maybe so, but I still have a right to question that shit. Okay. And so you see that. So now I want to show you guys how, like, is there's this thing where you guys want to say that I'm babbling or I'm doing, I'm wrong on things. But look at this. So on November 17th, I was telling Black Americans in a recorded space that in lieu of the things that I've read and certain things that I know that they're willing to cut, which is about 75% of the government, including many benefits and jobs and things in which Black Americans benefit from. I said, well, hey guys, you might want to start to study the Constitution and the Bill of Rights because you're going to have to understand governance if they're going to be cutting everything because the social contract is not going to be, the social contract could be null and void in terms of like tacit consent. And we got into all of those things and whatnot. This was recorded space, by the way. They obviously proceeded to say, oh, that's some Dr. York shit. This is about traveling papers and more shit you're trying to push. This is wrong. You're going to get us all arrested. You're going to get us all locked up. Mind you, I merely said, you're going to have to start your own government if they start cutting everything. And then another person jumped out and said, the government within the government is illegal. You're going to get in trouble. And they created a straw man argument and proceeded to make it seem like that was my point when I never said that was the point. I was never allowed to explain what I meant in terms of governance and government and constitutional rights within constitutional law, even within admiralty law or de jure law. I was never able to explain the intricacies of what I was saying and so they used to just, the discrediting stuff happens again. But I specifically said, Black Americans, you have to study the Bill of Rights. Now, mind you, here's the evidence of that. Not here, right here though. Here's the evidence of this. And I said it publicly in a space, like with my verbal mouth, and said, "Hey guys, you guys want to study that that the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. You better start studying that North Ordinance of 1787 based on what's coming to us. Mind you, this was before I even knew about Trump challenging the 14th Amendment, and this is when I was hearing Black Americans. This was before I started getting suspicious about certain Black Americans telling us that the 14th Amendment was getting rid of it was a good thing. But here, look at this. I said on November 20th, 2028, on November 20th, 2024, I says, dude, y'all study the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 and the Bill of Rights in the preamble. Study Benjamin Franklin's philosophy on government. I am because I'm seeing what they're trying to do to Black Americans. I am within the law. Let's just see how it plays out. Okay, so you see me going in. Okay, but look at this part again. On November 17th, 2024, I stream a video. And in that video, I say we are recovering constitutional law. Like I'm studying, I'm starting the Nocti Order of Governance of North America, which is a high society, as well as it's a high society that pushes truth and enlightenment. But we also operate as a political think tank, governance think tank, Umbra governance too, that is an advisory role over the U.S. government. And I'm going to prove to you, like for those who say, "Oh no, that can't be true," y'all better watch them prophecy videos. That was covert ways of getting codes out and messages out. And see, I know you guys are not well keen on like when we talk about like the shadow government stuff, but I'll show you just so you can see like okay, for those who say I'm so plebiscite babbling, I'm just plebiscite babbling. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So look at this, November 17th. Umbra governance, the U.S. Constitution, and we're pretty much building out the legal architecture for the Nocti Order. But I was talking, we were reviewing the amendments. We were reviewing in this video, November 17th, right? You see it right in front of your screen. We were covering uh, the preamble. We were going over things. We were talking about the Jack Case Rousseau. We were talking about the social contract. We were getting into admiralty law and shit like that. And so that was November 17th. But watch this. You hear me again on November 20th telling Black Americans, I said, I am studying the law, the Northwest Ordinance, and the Constitution. The government is not for the people anymore. I do not want Black Americans to do nothing that would get them in trouble. Just chill out. I am studying the law and found a legal loophole. Right? But look at this. I told Black Americans to study the Constitution, the preamble, the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, and the Bill of Rights. They laughed it off. Oh, I'm crazy. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. But look at this, November 24th, by the leading report, breaking. Georgia's 26 public colleges and universities are set to ban DEI initiatives across the board and will teach students using the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Feller's Papers, and other founding documents. Now, here's the thing. In this video, let me show you this. Because this was really what's going to freak y'all out for y'all to say that, no, that y'all, you just tripping. This video right here, when I talk about when I'm talking about new governance. For my stream on Rumble, I apologize, guys. If anybody's on Rumble watching, I totally botched that stream. I wasn't even sharing the right screen, so I apologize. Probably have to delete it. But for those that are on other ways, on the other streams, it should be fine. Matter of fact, I gotta see if I can make this smaller because it's not even showing the whole thing. Let's see if I do like 75%. Does that work? Would that make it smaller where you can see it? No. Well, matter of fact, let me just Google it then, because I want you to see. I told Black Americans to study the Constitution, study the Bill of Rights. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, get her out of here. But then look at this. Georgia's 26 public schools. Get rid of the Constitution. But you gotta follow me here because in this video right here, that was 5 days ago, new governance structure. Guess what I cover? Again, we cover the Constitution in DEI programs. I literally talk about education. It's fireside chat video. I talked about DEI, And then also, once again, we cover the Constitution. We're going over things. So you see the evidence right in front of your screen. The day this was published, just so y'all know, on November 22nd. When me talking about my reaction to DEI as a Black American kid and DEI, but also this Constitution and not the order of governance, the local spheres and the term limits and discussions. This video talks about that. I tell Black Americans in a recorded space of at least 100 people, study your Bill of Rights, study your Constitution, because it's something that's coming and you're going to need it. You're going to need to know the law. They laugh it off, say I'm crazy. I write it on November 20th, twice. On November 20th, I write it twice. Right here. Y'all study the Northwest Audience in 1780, the Bill of Rights and the Preamble. Study Benjamin Franklin's philosophy on government. Right here, November 17th. I'm in a video talking about study the U.S. Constitution. We're actually going through the preamble. We're going through the legal architecture. And then I say it again. I am studying the laws of the Northwest Audience and the Constitution. Now watch this. 4 days ago. Look at this. 2 days ago. Georgia colleges ban DEI programs and shifts to founding documents. This is a new era. The University System of Georgia commit to teach Constitution. So some shit that I told my people to do on November 17th. You see how quick. And this happens to me all the time, just so you know. Like I created a document of different policies that I wanted enacted in 2023 throughout the whole year of 2024. A lot of them, the policies that was on that document that's publicly available, got implemented, just so y'all know, throughout the year. But I'm so plebiscite babbling. I'm plebiscite babbling though, Tariq. I'm plebiscite babbling. Look how quick this happened. November 23rd, literally the day after I did that video, and it told Black Americans, look, commit to neutrality, teach Constitution. The University System of Georgia boards, this is 26 colleges, and I stay in Georgia, just so y'all know. The USG institutions shall remain neutral on social and political issues unless such an issue is directly related to the institution's core mission. Now, if y'all listen to that last video that I talked about, the new governance structures, that's when you hear me talking about ideological test and DEI and all that, and Constitution, all that. And then look at this. Beginning in 2025, 2026, they will require students to study the founding American documents, among other things. Look at this. The United States Constitution, Bill of Rights, the Articles of Confederation, the Federalist Papers, the Gettysburg Address, the Emancipation Proclamation, Martin Luther King Jr.'s from, oh my gosh, this shit is so deep. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail, as well as the Georgia Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Bam. Right there. I'm plebiscite babbling, Tariq. I just showed y'all a literal documented time, published timestamp of me telling y'all in that recorded space. That was in Big Chief CR's room, where I'm literally saying, "Hey guys, you're gonna need it. This is about to come." And then you see why I was frantically like going in about that 14th Amendment. It wasn't because I was thinking about immigration or deportation. It's because, like, dude, y'all better study these motherfuckers. This is like when they removed Negro out the books and didn't nobody say anything and Obama was gone. I'm not letting that happen again. So every little thing, yeah, I'm watching. I don't care if you sell out niggas that took a check from them motherfuckers and you got to kiss their ass for the next 4 years and act like they can't do no wrong. I ain't got to do that. I ain't got to do that, Tariq. But I'm so publicite babbling. But I sent out a message publicly in that video and said we were literally going through the Constitution together. You see it right in front of your screen. They implemented this in less than a week of me making my call to my community to study the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. You see it right there in the proclamation. We were talking about all this stuff. You see how quick they did that? But I'm just so fucking crazy. Look at this. Adopts institutional neutrality, strengthens First Amendment rights and new changes. See, my people, they wanted so bad to, but you throw these other people in alley oop. This still throws us an alley hoop if you take it serious. But if you don't know what's going on, if you can't understand what's spiritually happening, then you can just stay lost. I was telling you guys that for a reason. I was telling you guys that for a reason. But I have to say, the documents itself, if you study them, if somebody if something does get challenged, or if something, or if you need to do something to get yourself out of the situation, you have to rely on the Bill of Rights and that Constitution. And based on art in the room saying you don't need your Bill of Rights, and we just went through all of the Bill of Rights. Yeah. I think you need this education. You see how why they was so quick to implement it on November 23rd after me asking y'all in a room, and on my YouTube, literally. Again, I've told y'all that those major think tanks, they watch my shit. I was a part of those think tanks. That's why I started my own think tank, the Knock the Order, because I can't rock with controlled out. I can't do no. I don't like chicanery. I'm not about to sit and act like the RNC is no damn angels. I'm not about to sit and act like the DNC is no damn angels. I'm not satisfied with neither one of them. So I gotta start my own shit. It's as simple as that. Now I'm the bad guy. Now they gotta do their little COINTELPRO shit because I'm telling Black Americans, look, you need your own political party. Look, y'all need your own parallel infrastructure. Why Tariq ain't doing this shit? They got me out here. I'm a female. Shit, when are y'all gonna when are we gonna get the building? Don't try to play me and act like, oh, I'm wrong for questioning this system and some bullshit on your screen. We was literally talking about the US Constitution on November 17th. I was telling you see it right there. It says the US Constitution, Umbra governance, right? But I'm plebiscite babbling. You see how quick that is. But let me show you this because I want to show y'all another thing. That's just one example. That's just one example. November 17th. That video is up here. Let me go here. And then this video in particular literally talks about DEI and the Constitution again. And then just that quick, they put that out Georgia, and I'm in Georgia, just so y'all know. But look at this. 3 weeks before the election, y'all say I have a little crash out and all this shit. I said shadow government. I select myself as president over the governance of North America. That's November 1st, 2024. Right. That was before the election. I had to clear some stuff in the spiritual realm in relation to birthrights. I'm talking in code, but again, if y'all don't understand what this shit is all about, it ain't my fault. Like we trying to catch y'all up. But look at this. Mind these are all the policies that I developed for the country, by the way. Yeah, but I'm not this one. This document right here. Everything that you see in this document is publicly available, even including the timestamp for when it was published. And many of these things got implemented over the year, just so y'all know. So, but this was November 1st, right? This talk about the shadow government, right? Y'all see it right there. Now I'm building out a governance, a umbra governance on some real high level craftsmanship. Like I'm not being arrogant, but there's people that are literally trying to discredit me and say, "Oh, you're just plebiscite babbling," right? Now watch this, because I'm telling you, watch this. Look at the dates. Look at the dates of this. What is a shadow cabinet and how could it work in the U.S.? After I put my stuff out about how I selected myself, November 14th. Look at this date right here, November 14th, 2024. They come up with a shadow cabinet team. Who can serve in the American shadow cabinet? Then they give you the names. The Senator elect Adam Chief, that's the shadow attorney general. Rep Adam Smith, shadow defense secretary. Rep Susan Debarn, shadow commerce secretary. Rep Rosa DeLero, shadow health and human services secretary. Rep Hayes, Education Secretary. Rep. Meeks, Shadow Secretary of State. Senator Michael Bennet, Shadow Treasury Secretary. Senator Tammy Duckworth, Shadow Veterans Affairs Secretary. Kathy Castor, Shadow Environmental Protection Agency Administration. This is about a point person for advocacy groups. You see, they do you see they copied my methodology. I'm so bad plebiscite babbling. You think that I just yeah, I studied the preamble and the Constitution and Bill of Rights. Now I'm saying I'm not I'm not a constitutional legal expert. No. Um, but yeah, when I'm talking about this Nocti order of Umbra governance, which is an advisory over the U.S. corporation, it's an advisory think tank and an advisory high society over the U.S. corporation. Do you see how quick they took that methodology? But Tariq is trying to convince y'all that I'm just some crazy person. Look at the dates. The dates prove them. And I'm telling you, when I say I could do this time after time with so many things that implemented with me, because I've ran my platform sort of like a think tank, like sort of like an idea generator. And in many instances, I did not mind, you know, think tanks that I knew were watching my shit. Like literally for a 100% fact, I do know that there are people that belong to think tanks on the RNC side and the DNC side that were watching my channel. Because I had communication with those people behind the scenes before, and I have to say names. I know what the fuck it is. And so, yeah, there are times where I purposely, I'm crafting stuff out publicly because I do know that there's certain plays that I'm setting up, you know. And in the face of this concerted effort to label anybody who knows the thing, who actually cares about their community, who actually has integrity, to label them the op or to label anybody who has a critique. Now you have to just say they're an agent. No, because they have a critique. No, because they ask a question. No, that's not how the world works. The real world works where no one is above reproach, including me. And when people ask where I'm from and who I am and what I stand on and what did I write and what do I believe in, I have to answer those questions too to my community. When they grill me, you sure you Black American? What's your genealogy? And I have to answer those questions, you know. But you see it on your screen. What is a shadow cabinet? Not November 14th. We need new ideas. Now, is this shadow stuff going to work with them? I don't know, but they clearly copied this strategy from me talking about the shadow government. President knocked the order of governance in North America. Shadow government, I select myself. Because I already know how this shit works. I know the universe is mental, and I know how the vote means to bow, and I know what it takes to get somebody selected and not elected in the bloodlines and all. And come on now, let's stop being like kids. Let's stop being children. But they copy this idea of the shadow cabinet. November 14th, just that quick. Look at this. What form of shadow cabinet? Democrats propose shadow government. They copied this shit off of my stuff. Propose creating a Democratic shadow cabinet. Will it work? I mean, I don't fucking know. For me, it's gonna work, but for them, I don't know because the Democrats they got to do a whole makeover. They got to do a whole overall. They whole party. They probably won't even be able to keep their name. Like they got to do a whole rebranding. Like they got to do a whole rebranding. So I don't know. They got to come up and they can't. They trying to go more of the moderate route and they trying to bring out AOC. And that shit is a joke. That girl's a fucking actor. Everybody done pulled her coattail. She was out there crying or acting like she was protesting about some kids in cages and shit. Like she don't got that je ne sais quoi. Like and they want to bring her out there and I guess to run her for the Democrat Party. I mean that might y'all might as well ran Kamala again to be honest and see if third time's a charm because I don't know if AOC is gonna get it. I think that might be worse because I don't nobody can take her serious. I mean people I'm telling you I don't know what y'all gonna do. Y'all got American citizens. Y'all done gate kept y'all shit so much with this club shit that there's an average American citizen that's probably smarter than most of the people that y'all got in Congress or even at the executive level that could run this country better than anybody that the Democrats is planning to run. And it's as simple as that. Y'all might as well throw Obama's ass. I mean, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Y'all need a whole rehaul. Y'all need a whole makeover. It's a mess. And the RNC, I don't know what the fuck y'all gonna do either. I don't know. I mean, what are y'all? I don't get like after this, y'all can tell because the Americans are waking up. Like we talking about diehard Trump supporters is looking like, what the fuck is you doing with this cabinet pick shit? Like this is a bait and switch. Like what? Like and I don't know where y'all going with this, but like I said, I can't get into y'all matrix no more. I can't get into y'all silos of y'all IPU. That's the shit y'all got going on that 3D, 4D shit, whatever. I gotta move on to the next one. Like I gotta be on my in my own IPU because I mean it's ridiculous. But if I'm so plebiscite babbling, why would I create a shadow government for the US? Well, we already know there's already is a shadow government. But when I bring it out to the public on November 1st and talk about the knock the order of governance of North America as an umbra shadow governance, right in this video, why do these think tanks copy my ideas about the shadow cabinet? Why did Georgia just copy uh the plan when I'm telling my people to damn study the damn constitution and study why did 26 public colleges a week after me putting that out decide to tell their students that they're going to be teaching the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration, and other founding documents? It's not it's literally right in front of your screen, literally right in front of your screen. That I'm so plebiscite babbling, and so y'all go run and tell that nigga to read. He need to pipe down. He don't want it with me. Don't get mad because somebody called you out and can see some shit. You know that you're not above reproach. You're not above reproach, nigga. You don't get to just say, oh, so you get to try to discredit. So that's some COINTELPRO shit. That really is. That's why you so vested in people thinking I'm crazy. That's the big question people need to ask themselves. Why, when every time somebody out of that space come against me, they can only insult me. Do y'all not find that suspicious? It's always an insult. Well, what did she actually say? What did she say was a lie? Well, what is she actually? Why are y'all so hell bent on discrediting this person? What do they know? What do she know? What are y'all afraid of? And I didn't even bring up that argument about the abolish the race stuff. That wasn't me bringing that up. I don't know if you think I'm behind it. I'm not behind that. Also that situation with the is the melanated people black. I'm not behind it. That's his following that's bringing that shit up because they can see what he doing. But why do this is when you Google me, this is what pop up. When you Google me, when this is what pops up. Why do they want a shadow ban? Why is there such a vested interest? Well, let's take a look. What do this person actually knows? Here's my books. And for those there was somebody that came in my DMs and said I'm gripped in the culture. Most of these books, the redacted versions of these books are available for free. This book right here is completely available for free. Tantra for the Human Soul. You have to find it on my YouTube channel though, because I do audio readings. Unraveling the epistemological boundaries of power, knowledge, and out of Africa theory. It's completely free. Um, there is a redacted version though. I don't give all of the material out there, but you can't say, "Oh, you're just trying to grift our community." The Law of Gender, the redacted version, free. Now, what is in these books that they want so shadow banned? They need to tell the public that I'm so crazy. Or Herbs for Medicine and Metaphysics. This is a book that is over 300 pages long with over 175 herbs that teaches Black Americans different types of herbs for medicine, the uses, the the etymology of the plant, where the plant is from, a bio of the plant, how to use it, the dosage. How am I so crazy doing this, Tariq? Why did you copy stuff out of this book right here? Alchemy Reservoir of Black Americans, The Collective Unconscious Genealogy and Preserving Ethnicity. This book is years old, just so y'all know. Nobody ever knows of it because I'm telling you, Tariq is behind that blacklisting of me because he's upset. But why is certain ideas stolen from this book that you presented to your art to your audience like you came up with it? And this book was published 2 years ago, damn near about to be 3 years ago. The influence of culture on the alchemy reservoir, the collective unconscious, Black American transmutation process in alchemy archetypes and symbols, importance of preserving and gatekeeping identity and culture, genealogy and resources for tracing lineage, reclassification, how African American is a misnomer, reparations, duality of the Black American collective unconscious for more excellent self improvement. We're talking about like the culture, foster, raise self esteem, foster pride in one's culture. We talk about ethnocide. I have timestamps of when those ideas was brought forth. Like when I say like this person is going around wanting to convince the community or to for one this Mason, they're in on like the blacklisting and the shadow bit, like whatever they can do to to make sure nobody works for me or nothing or anything. But then they go behind and they'll steal ideas out of my book and then go and tell the community that I'm crazy. And then set up things behind the scenes to do covert harassment. One of his followers even pretty much told me that he was the one that put me on the targeted harassment list. One of his own followers. But I'm supposed to be. But I mean, if I'm so crazy, why would you put someone on the target harassment list? That's very like. But so it's which one is it? So this is how these people. This is how COINTELPRO works. This book teaches military science because it was calling out the illogical fallacies of Pan-Africanism, but we talked about the entrusted melanism framework. It's an open is a tier open source template that focuses on goals and shared interests and practical strategies for empowerment while preserving your unique culture and ethnicity. Mind you, the redacted version of this is free, and particularly the parts about the military science frame, the actual military science strategies, free. Obviously, I got in trouble for publishing this, so this is why they want to tell you that. Oh, she's so crazy. Look at this one. Enterprise Arch. Now, this one, the reason why they want you to, this is why they really want you to tell, because people are literally stealing, particularly this Freedmans, they're stealing whole frameworks out of this book right here. Queen Mothership Part 2, Enterprise Architecture, Guide to Rebuilding Black America. And so this one is a blueprint that covers governance, councils and elections, spiritual development, land acquisition, conservation, economics, community investment, and trust funds, barter economy, self-defense, culture, education, fusion power, antimatter, renewable energy, collaboration, sustainable queen mothership villages, procuring water, convention of construction of homes in a village, co-ops for food and childcare, intelligence gathering, prevention against chaos agents, models for technology, and a message to Black men. Book published a year ago. So we talk about enterprise architecture. This is how you organize and manage your resources within an enterprise. And so it's pretty much a governance structure for on the local level of how someone would build from the bottom up. And so this book was a framework for that. Now I know for a fact that there's no plebiscite babbling, as one would say, is because this frame many of the ideas of this framework um, is being used in real time by various groups. And again, this material could be found for free on the internet. So, and actually, I have the proof that this manuscript is being read for free on a particular platform, actually. So it's not like you know, oh, you're just being dramatic, or and I don't care, but I'm just saying, like, this is why they this is I mean, this is clearly why they're this concerted effort to label me, to try to discredit me, and particularly people like Tariq Nasheed. And again, he's an occultist. He admitted to, do with the root work stuff. He came out as an occultist. And when we're talking about how a occultist will have no problem using their tactics that they know, or the masonry that they've learned on their audience, yeah, they'll do that. And so I know he's trying to reduce what I said, like just trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm some crazy person that just emailed him or whatever. But no, when he did the commentary about the tut language, that was subliminal covert. It was a subliminal covert way to undermine me. Now I documented that on my channel in the ways in which he had did that, and we went through like the recordings of what he said, how he said it, and then also I talked about how like somebody from his team did reach out for me to teach that tut language stuff. And so when I was talking about like the undermining of the covert subliminal email, that the email that I sent about subliminal covert undermining, it was in relation to the tut language. And then I publicly did a video going through the triangulation method that I use, which is three or more points of contact to prove a phenomenon when someone uses plausible deniability to hide the fact when they do little Masonic shit behind the scenes, or when they do covert shit behind the scenes, they have plausible deniability. And that is what Tariq has been using. Tariq Nasheed uses plausible deniability when it comes to undermining or trying to neutralize or discredit certain people. Um, in other ways, I watched his tactics where it's way more nefarious than just the way he particularly handles my case. Because this dude has been reporting on whatever grassroots momentum or whatever authentic engines arise that are not under the control of controlled opposition or under their uh, umbrella, they send motherfuckers at you. It's just simple as that. And so the way in which they do that, you have to build a psychological profile on that person, and in ways in which you can get them, catch them up, whether it be through entrapment, getting them, picking with them, or even offing them if you can. But with me, it's more so like, let's use the plausible deniability thing on her in psychological warfare. Then we could just say that she's crazy because she's going to react to, you know, uh, the subliminal covert ways in which there would be scant evidence to prove this COINTELPRO Project Phoenix type shit, and then we could just say, oh, she's crazy. But again, the government contacted me about this philosophy because they couldn't understand it and wanted to know what it was about. Did I teach them? No, but it's this is federally copyrighted material. Like I have the certificate. Actually, was just looking at the other day. The certificate is good for the rest of my life to 75 years after my death. So this is a unique system. So the unique this Nocti philosophy teaches one how to pretty much sift through. It's a process of meditation, but doing it where you can sift through the content of the mind and see what is programming your current state of consciousness, and see what do you want to transmute, keep the content the same. You do that through taking a snapshot of your state of consciousness by filling out the chambers of the mind chart. And there's various techniques and philosophies to do that. I'm sorry, technique and modalities rather to do that. This book is also available for free, but I'm going to redo the manuscript on that. But this one is also a history book of matriarchies in Africa. This is the Nakti Queen Mothership Order, alternative to Freemasonry. This breaks down the history of pre-Adamic civilizations. This is, I know people feel like the whole craft was in this book. You guys have to be insane. Um, Anything that I gave out, including like the information about the 125D and all that stuff, it needed to come out. Nobody cares. It could be something that's easily verified, or if you go through enough research, through enough esoteric studies, it probably take you some years. You will come into the revelation of what I'm talking about. Or people who are spiritually adept already know what I'm talking about, and they know as well. But it's still nothing. It's nothing, because I know people may say like, "Oh, you're sharing too much information. You talk too much. You gave all this out." We didn't give out anything. We gave out stuff that apparently humans may feel like this needs to be guarded, or this is some secret information, or this needs to be secret. There's shit that needs to be secret, and it's nothing that I put out. And then there are things that I know that I totally keep secret, clearly. But yeah, AFES, a Dow-driven instructional design model for education, military, and business. See, the reason why the government is upset because of they know that a lot of stuff that I have developed, they want to implement, and then the shit is copyrighted. So if they were to steal it, then they got a lawsuit, and they will be caught stealing shit. And so this is a AFES. This is an instructional design model. You don't think that this shit is that's in this book could be useful? Yeah, it's useful. They don't know how to implement it, and they too afraid to just ask for the help. So we in a standoff. We in a standoff because if they were to work with me, then it's like, damn, like we spent all these years trying to convince the world, trying to convince whoever that comes into contact with this lady that she's crazy. But then like we behind the scenes trying to uncrack and study this shit and use these models and but then if we actually have to go with her, then it legitimizes her. And then I'm not gonna sign no contracts and I'm not gonna be working under no umbrella where y'all stealing my shit from me. I own 100% of everything that I do. This all these books. Can't nobody say, "Oh, they pimping me. They getting money off of me." None of that. And so that's why these niggas don't like me. That's why they don't like me. This why right here. I come up with my own community center that I built out, and they don't care if the community don't fuck with me or whatever. It's a matter that I stood on integrity and truth all the way to the end. I didn't sell out at the last minute for no fiat currency money, knowing what time it is. I didn't sell out my community for a fleeting dying system. So here are my esoteric video lectures and deeper codes and what they mean for Black people globally. This is why he needs to tell everybody that I'm crazy. Here's the Esoteric Studies Department. Here's the Research and Cultural Policy Center for Black Americans. This is the Research and Cultural Policy Center for Black Americans. Here's the Center for Sexual Health and Family Planning for Black Americans. Center for Sexual Health and Family Planning. So how is this crazy? Why does he need to convince y'all that is what y'all need to ask yourself. How is a program that researches advances sexual health in a family in a nuclear family via research, education, and workshop efforts? How is that? How is that warrant spreading? What are you trying to hide? Oops, let's get out of here. Um, trying to get to. Why don't they? Okay. I try my best, and I've still been dealing with help from this system because they don't give me no shake. I have no funding from these people. I try my best. I try to start something for Black Americans, Python courses, fundamentals of HTML, cybersecurity, ethical hacking. This is not university. I've tried. I'm still adding more, but it's been a lot that I've been dealing with. Emotional health login. So why does he need y'all so bad to think that I'm crazy? Ask yourself this. It's like what the fuck are you trying to hide? And why y'all telling the Black Americans that the 14th Amendment Getting eradicated is a good thing. And all I did was ask about it. But when is y'all niggas ever gonna debate me without the insults or the slander and stuff? When is y'all niggas gonna actually have a sound argument? When is you niggas actually gonna stand on integrity? When is you niggas gonna call out bullshit when you see it bullshit? When are you niggas gonna actually come up with a sound strategy instead of dicking our people around in a circle, acting like y'all about to get reparations and like from this damn RNC or acting like y'all about to hold Trump accountable when y'all not? When y'all gonna stop putting money over your fellow man? Hmm? When y'all gonna stop being Hollywood niggas? And now we about to work on this knock the order. I'm not playing. We got issues and policies that we handle. The knock the order. Military Science Department, events, organizing, issue services. And we about to be on a local level. I'm serious. Y'all better Tariq, you better figure out your next little COINTELPRO shit, nigga. It said, "Welcome to the Knock the Order, High Society and Governance, embracing truth and enlightenment." Okay, Planet Earth is a school that teaches sovereignty and taxonomy. We are never forget that we are transcendent spiritual beings having a human experience. We focus on truth and enlightenment. Now, did I set this up under like a certain way to where it can have double protection of the people involved? Yeah, it's set up a certain way. It's set up a certain way where there's protections under certain laws, and I did that strategically. Everything is a method. I don't just sit up here and just quack for my motherfucking health. And this nigga know that. No, but because people starting to look at you sideways and people starting to realize that you're not standing on business, that you up here playing around with our fucking people. And you sitting up there telling them shit that they don't have that's not in their best interest. And because you getting paid. Or because you trying to cover up and keep cover up who you don't got in bed with and how them white folks own your ass. And that little contract that you had with the RNC. But you want to get mad. Don't take that shit out on me. Don't take that shit out on me, nigga. I would have never thought that it would have came to this, but you sitting up there, man, y'all take things too far just because y'all trying to keep covered up y'all corruption. Y'all take things too far. Like all this shit, all you drag this shit out for 2 years, nigga, just to bring it to this point when all you had to do was just find a way to make it right behind the scenes and just keep it fucking moving or just let it go. It's like you went scorched earth. Like you pretty much sacrificed my fucking community just to get back at a couple of people and just so you can cover up the bullshit that you're involved in. And that shit not cool. And just because certain people can see it and they don't feel comfortable, they not taking up for me. They don't probably even give a fuck about or care. These are people that fucked with you. They don't fuck with me. They fucked with you when they calling your ass out. They can see what you were gonna do 4 years from now when them niggas realize black men ain't stupid. They gonna realize like you was the one that once the shit really hit the fan. I said something for a reason 3 weeks before the election. Don't nobody just trip out like that 3 weeks before no election. Y'all should have at least looked into what the fuck I was saying. Not in regards about myself, but in regards to whatever that heritage foundation shit when I said bait and switch. Them white boys, they jumped on it. And I had the I could show you the receipts when they was literally telling their followers that's either whether they MAGA or whether they uh don't support politics at all. They was saying, yo, they did a bait and switch. They did a bait and switch on us. They did a bait and switch. And I kept trying to tell my people that and they ignored. How much is y'all getting paid? Y'all not gonna get nothing out of that. Y'all have no idea what y'all have done. And the options wasn't to go vote for Kamala. The options were again, we should have saw that political chess playing in that negotiating, that fight for more of tangibles for Black Americans, and we didn't see that. And that's what woke me up. I said, you know what? You supporting Trump too hard, it makes me nervous. That's the honest to God reason why I started researching more honestly, Tariq. The fact that you, because I has been supporting Trump since 2018, but the fact that you went so hard randomly this year, a couple of months after I had selected him live on the air, you went too hard, and it made me suspicious. It made me like, nah, something not right here. And I started to look into who was funding. That's when I found out about Peter Thiel. That's when I found out about I was looking into JD Vance, Peter Thiel's ass, the people that the Heritage Foundation shit. That's when I said, hold up, something. Nah, I mean, I understand being conservative, but you pushing this shit way too hard on our people, and it didn't feel right. It didn't feel spiritually clean, because you got to make sure we getting something from either side. Like, you don't just sit up there and tell our people, you know, immigration is the tangible when you didn't fight for them to have the resources reallocated to our community once we close that border. And I want to be clear, I probably have a harsher stance on any Republican on immigration. My stance was published in 2023 publicly. Just because I'm blacklisted and shadow banned don't mean I ain't been standing on business or there's no record of anything I ever said or ever done. I've left breadcrumbs purposely because I already knew that this COINTELPRO shit, I already knew that they would be doing whatever they can to discredit me. And so, yeah, in 2023, yeah, I talked about the moratorium on immigration executive order, all types of stuff as a policy that I wanted to see. My policy on immigration is probably more harsh than any Republican. Um, I'm not here to, I'm not trying to snatch kids from their parents, whatever they try to say, how they try to demonize people that take a different approach on it. However, um, it's more so of a logical argument. You only have a certain amount of land mass and a certain amount of resource allocation, and you have to look out for your own people before you can, just have unbridled immigration like have we've been seeing. You only have a certain amount of land mass. There's already 320 million people in the country. I mean, that's not even like that's just a very simple ass argument. You can't just have an open border and have it or a bunch of people just run through the border. That's just a very logical argument. Only a certain amount of land mass. 320 million people currently, a certain amount of resource allocation. Yeah, you need border control. That's the short end of it to me. But would have been nice would to see the advocacy for those resources to be redirected to Black Americans, and I wish there would have been some sort of policy or proposal. See, they talk about they had the platinum plan. They didn't even add to the platinum plan. These influencers that wanted us to vote for Trump so bad, they didn't even add anything to the platinum plan. You know, and so that lets you know, like something. It's like what people have a right to question shit. They do. People have a fucking right to question shit that don't sound right. And I do feel that historically people have sold out our community on both sides. Like people, and that's why, like, we talk about, okay, we don't have respect, we don't get respect as a community. People be short-sighted, and people don't understand what it means to sacrifice for a longer, for a longer cause in which you may not see the labors of it in your lifetime or even in the beginnings of the initial work that you do, but you understand the long goals. And that's why these people that are more mechanistic, they'll plan for 100 years on your ass, 20 years on your ass, 200 years in advance. You think this World War III shit that they about to pop off? Albert Pike predicted that. They put that in motion. They planned that shit 100 years ago, dude. About that World War III with Israel and Palestine. That shit had been planned 100 years ago by Albert Pike, who was a Freemason. Ain't nothing new. These people play a long, hard game. And I watched them like a hawk. I watched them and they know I watched them and they watch me. And that's why they want y'all thinking I'm all fucking crazy. They sitting up there copying the little thing I put out. um, yeah, but I watch these motherfuckers and they not playing with us. They know they found out some stuff that was not supposed to get out. It was supposed to get out, but the community was supposed to also be more vigilant or have more awareness about what day and time it is on a spiritual level. And so that didn't take place, but whatever. Stuff still gets done. Like the prophecy and what God has mandated for our people will still get done. However, they, with this system, this is a matrix beast system. It's for the battle for the hearts and minds of of the people. It's a battle for the hearts and minds of the people, or the collective consciousness of what you think, what you believe, the perception. And if people could control your perception, they can do what? They can control your behavior. If people can control your perception about a phenomenon, if they can control your perception about race, if they can control your perception about what you think the president's going to do, then they can control your motherfucking behavior. And the best way to do it is through fear. And that's why people say, okay, you fear mongering. They try to accuse me of fear mongering. It's a difference between someone pointing out something that, as far as, hey, I'm very proactive and I like to prepare in advance just in case people have shit, they're plotting on us. And my community doesn't think like that. But that's not me fear mongering because I told you guys to study the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. And how's that fear mongering? That's not fear mongering. That's like, hey guys, I think we should be a little more proactive in things and prepare a little bit more. Oh no, we don't need the Bill of Rights. I have a recorded space of someone of Black Americans, Black men, saying we don't need the Bill of Rights. We don't need no 14th Amendment. We don't need no Bill of Rights. And then trying to make it seem like I'm kicking up smoke because I'm worried about immigration and deportation. I recorded that whole entire room. And if I was to go and do a deep dive dissecting, we pretty much exposed the snakes. Now, if y'all caught it, y'all caught it. Now, if y'all cowards, now I ain't saying call it out, but you better be quiet and you better, and whoever else recorded that space, y'all better review it several times and look for idiosyncrasies or the way people question or the insults people threw or the Jedi mind tricks people played and try to reduce my argument down to deportation and immigration. Or when people were saying we don't need the Bill of Rights. I better watch and pay attention to who was all talking and who was justifying doing what they did and who was asking stupid questions in bad faith, such as what you think they're gonna put us back in slavery, what you think they're gonna do, what you gonna do about it. Now y'all need to get out and fight. Those type of responses are totally unacceptable. If movement work and quest for liberation and quest for we didn't get involved in this work to be a fucking RNC shield, to be a do boy for the fucking government. If y'all do boys for the government, y'all say that. Please say that so I can get the fuck on. I'm telling you, I don't have to be around none of y'all niggas. I can be, I already, man, I'm content. I already know that this is a fucking illusionary matrix system that's built on archons and it's a derma urge. It's not hell, but it's not heaven either. It's what you make it in your mind. It's your state of consciousness that's going to determine your reality. And so I already know what y'all doing. I know y'all sitting there playing around with them people, man. And y'all get mad because I can see it. That's all it is. And everything is elements of mind control. I know Tariq brought up mind control. Nigga, you copy me. And when I was talking about how these niggas be so trying to look to see who they can be a handler to. Nigga, I told you I need to be your handler. Y'all try to do y'all little shamalama ding dong on certain people to see who y'all can run game on, who y'all could try to, y'all study the music industry. Y'all know how they do 360 deals on motherfuckers. Y'all know how they sign people to fucked up ass contracts and exploit niggas and defend P. Diddy and all this shit. Y'all know how they do in that industry. Okay. It happens in politics as well. I was gonna get in politics. It happens with anything that has to do with any sort of mainstream building, whether you're an author, if you're a public figure or even on a small level, if you're an author, if they want you to go through their engine, through their door and play their ball and play their game and have your asshole opened up for the net so that you can get put on or for you to and if you don't want to play that game, then they toss you to the side. They discredit you. They say you crazy. They don't want to they try to blacklist. But they know good and hell well it's been hard to do that because of my level of brilliance, the work that I produce and me speaking up for myself publicly. And that is why I do probably overshare. And I don't mean to overshare, but it's like, I know for a fact that people spread rumors about me behind the scenes. I know for a fact that people will just spread a lie and gossip about me. I've seen it. I know for a fact, and especially in certain work. And so I'm like, well, I have to share my side. I have to express myself of what I meant or my take on something. It doesn't mean I'm trying to get any validation from anybody. It just means more so like I have to set the record straight constantly because unfortunately I'm dealing with this fucking smear campaign shit. I mean, again, being a target individual, that shit is real. Yeah, I'm gonna see more of it come to play in 2025 and 2026. You know, if niggas sold out at the last minute, that's on them. That's on them. But don't fucking lie on me. And yeah, everything they do is for the battle of these influencers. They pay these people to influence people to usually go against themselves or to usually do some shit that's not gonna work. Y'all should know that by now. They've been doing that for a long time. That was the role of celebrities. The role of celebrities was to get you to be distracted, and that is what Tariq is. It's entertainment, but it's like our people are committed to real change and to real solution oriented frameworks, and they're looking for you know that within themselves, that leadership within themselves, and they also looking to work with one another to get things done. And when they see people not serious, or when they see motherfuckers that's willing to sell out their people for money and and to play along with this system, like you can outthink these motherfuckers. You gotta really be on a level. You can't just you can't just try to think you can take a check from these people and then think that you can be free on any level. And see, because I'm not just gonna blindly walk into they shit. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I find it mighty coincidental that just that quick after I was telling my own people to study them Constitution and them Bill of Rights and all that stuff, how quick Georgia public colleges and universities decided to start a program to teach the students their Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the founding documents. I find it mighty coincidental after I talked about the shadow government that 2 weeks after, now they want to talk about starting a shadow government, the literal Democrats, and I just showed a screenshot of that. I find it mighty coincidental that I have a recorded space of Black Americans talking about they don't need their Bill of Rights, but then we cover all of the Bill of Rights, and they all sound pretty fucking important to me. Find it mighty coincidental that people was trying to reduce my argument down to immigration and deportation when I asked about why are Black Americans telling Black Americans to why are Black RNC Shields telling Black Americans that getting rid of the 14th Amendment is a good thing. I find it mighty coincidental that I proved that this bill was created in 1868 and it was for formerly enslaved people, and it gives Black Americans access to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and it gives us the right to due process of law and equal protection of the law, and no state should deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of the law. And we talked about how it allows you the 14th Amendment allows you access to the Bill of Rights, making it binding upon the states. Yeah, yeah. So when I ask why is it being challenged, I have a right to ask that, especially when so many other things were challenged and Obama took Negro off the books. Now when Trump goes and fuck around with 14th Amendment, then what? You trusted Obama at one point, and you trusted Trump at one point, and you can't trust none of these motherfuckers. After I've been told y'all that they baited and switched on us. After I done told y'all that these RNC black shills was paid to push that shit on us without any tangibles because they got paid and they wanted to cover up that they CIA and that they Mason. Not all of them. I'm just saying the main one that was telling the grassroots to do that. It's gonna come out 4 years from now. Then what? They ain't, I'm telling you, they not gonna protect. They gonna be the first to go. I have no idea how this system thinks. This is a beast. This is one of the cruelest systems, man. You have no idea what they'll do to their innocent citizens. And when they make you a targeted individual, when they put you on illegal watch list, you have no idea what this government will do. And I've dealt with that for 10 years. Well, following that Tariq nigga. And then one of his followers had the nerve to insinuate that it was him that was behind putting me on the list. Mm, 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 So I think I covered, you know, what my point pretty well. Yeah. Um Again, no one is above reproach. You can play obtuse to cover what was done, but a true op is when you gotta just insult someone instead of coming up with a counter argument, or you try to discredit someone's reputation by just labeling them crazy when they're really actually genius. And every idea that I come up with, most of the time, y'all think tanks is thinking of some way to monopolize off of it. That's why I don't really give out much game anymore. That's why I stopped doing my probability distribution science videos. That's why I'm slowing down. That one book, I literally have to think if I even want to publish that. The probability distribution science. That's not the philosophy 2.0. I literally have to even think, or I have to go back and code it so well to where certain entities or certain nefarious actors that I know are trying to study space travel and quantum mechanics, I might have to just obscure it so bad to where they won't even understand it. I might have to do that because that book is literally almost done, and I was going to put that out there, and then I've started seeing the codes, and I'm seeing, I'm like, nah, these motherfuckers is waiting for you to put out the holy grail. They trying to wait. They trying to look at them code the rest of that last, and I'm like, oh, I don't be doing that. Which I don't think I don't. Again, we pretty much assess the state of your planet, and so we know what we dealing with. But I mean, y'all can get mad at me, but shit, I'll be telling the truth, and y'all know it. Y'all, I kind of pissed y'all off. Oh, I know them pissed them gatekeepers off. But y'all playing our people, man. It's not right. It's not right, and I can't. I go to bed free and clear, you know, of any guilty conscience because I'm not out here, trying to harm my people or harm anybody. And I didn't take a ransom against the innocent, and I didn't purposely tell my people to do something that I felt was going to be in their best interest. Like I didn't knowingly sell my people out, no. And so I go to bed at night knowing that I still have my character and what I stand for, and that's what it's about. But no, just because somebody critique you don't mean they plebiscite babbling nothing. Cause nigga, you took ideas out of my book. Y'all, I just proved to you how if I'm so babbling, how quick the Georgia Public University switched that quick after me talking about DEI and the U.S. Constitution and studying and legal architecture of this country and telling Black Americans, "Hey guys, we got to study this stuff," and they was laughing at me and no, 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 like how quick that other side, just that quick. I don't know what y'all gonna do for the next 4 years because, like I said, I ain't teaching pretty much, pretty much nothing that's gonna keep this system running. They fucked up. That's why that nigga is calling my name out now. Finally, how the fuck you know my description and all this shit if you don't know who the fuck I am, nigga? I'm like, man, y'all now y'all because look, yeah, it ain't even worth telling Black Americans what's really going on. It ain't even worth it. Some of y'all already know. Y'all in on the play. Y'all are in on the play of selling me out. So y'all already know. But yeah, man, if only y'all knew what this was really about. If only y'all knew. It's not again, it's not worth even telling. But now I guess they really about to throw the hammer down at me because they like, bitch, you're not out here giving us no probability distribution anymore. You're not out here telling us the no. No, I wasn't giving out shit anyways, but now y'all definitely, it's 4 years of this shit, and y'all thinking y'all's about to gut my people and get the secret sauce to the tribe of Judah? Oh, please, please. Y'all have no idea. I'm like, no, I caught it too. I caught it. I caught it a little too late, but I still caught it, and I made it right in the spiritual realm. I made it right in the spiritual realm with my ancestors in terms of answering what they needed me to do. What they needed me to do. They don't like the DNC. They don't like the RNC. We starting our own thing. Fuck it. But I'm a G like that. Why that nigga ain't? Why you ain't starting no third party for these niggas, nigga? Because you bought and paid for it. We could have worked together. You wanted to make this all draw. You drawing out all this fucking bullshit, dude. For all for nothing. All because you were trying to hide some shit, and you don't went to the extremes to try to cover up and label me crazy, get me like all and it was a group of them. All of this just to cover up all of this stuff. And that's why I made a lot of stuff free because I knew they were gunning for me. I knew the whole play was like, they don't have no control over me. They don't control me. That's all this is about. I'm not initiated into their bullshit. I'm not under oath. I didn't take no deals with these motherfuckers. I ain't got no contracts with these motherfuckers. And that's all this is about. Just anger that I'm building my own IPU under my own tenets and values and missions, under my own soul mission. And look, I believe in me. Just believe in you. Let me do me. You like it, cool. You don't, fast forward. Like Kanye West said. But nigga, I said what I said, and I don't know why you bringing me up. I didn't even say shit about you in that room that you claim that I was that I that room with Booby's room. I didn't even really, I just said you playing dumb, and you know that for 2 years we've been saying the same thing. That's it. I wasn't just dogging your ass out. I did pretty much was talking about the 14th Amendment, which was what I was thinking about before I even got into the room. So, if you're thinking about shit that's on your mind, you get it out. It's as simple as that. But to try to no, I tried to play dumb. The room is recorded. I'm gonna keep that recording of that room forever and pull that shit out right at the right time because y'all gonna look stupid. Gonna sit up there and tell on a recorded line that you don't need your Bill of Rights as a Black American. You sound like a fucking idiot. Like a fucking idiot. All because you want to protect this nigga and y'all getting paid to discredit me. And you could tell, like, even in some, like, they're like, wait a minute, why are we defending this? Like, they wanted to go against me so bad that they was literally defending throwing the 14th Amendment away. That's how sick in the head these people are. And I'm like, just tell me that y'all sold the fuck out or that y'all sold y'all soul. And so I can get the fuck on. Like, I don't have to, like, deal with this shit. And I'm so close to. I'm like, you know what? I'm so close to. Y'all have no idea because there's no point, especially with a nigga like this nigga Tariq. This nigga Tariq is real dangerous in my eyes. I'm like, nah, this nigga sitting up there trying to tell motherfuckers I'm crazy. This nigga stealing content, mind you, behind the scenes, doing targeted covert harassment shit as a Mason behind the scenes, and then I call it out, and then oh, I gotta look crazy because I don't have plausible deniability, because I don't have a network to protect me. I don't have a group of people that's going to cover for me, and I think that's sick, but people see it. People going to see. You can't hide that shit forever. What you going to do? Them Black people know that you in them folks pocket. Them people paying you, you under contract and under oath with them people. They know that shit. They know where you don't go. You don't challenge the system. You don't challenge the system enough. You protect the core deception too much. That makes you controlled opposition, Tariq. If you protect the core deception and you do not go against the system that you claim to resist in any real capacity, then you're controlled opposition. And so if Black Americans can see that, they're going to see what the fuck I've been seeing. They're going to see it. That's why your ass calling me out yesterday, because you realize that shit other people can see, but I can see. I ain't had nothing to do with that. A lot of them people that was talking about you about that black shit and that abolish race shit, they don't even like me. So they don't have nothing to do with me. They doing that because they watching you and they not appreciating the way you moving. They ain't got shit to do with me, nigga. So I don't even know why you calling me out. But you sitting up there copying shit from books that I made years ago. You don't come up with no damn ethnogenesis, and you need to be slapped for that little bullshit you don't concocted about the Majora thing with the. I mean, I watched that. I'm like, dude, like I said, you need a motherfucking handler, nigga. You need a new handler. I told you I need to be your motherfucking handler. Seriously, seriously, like I don't know what kind of shit they got y'all out here doing. Buck eyes with thumbnails with my people with buck eyes near some cotton. You really thought that was a smart thumbnail to use to depict Black Americans, nigga? Hmm? Hmm? Americans, nigga? People is tired. This community is tired of going around in motherfucking circles. We are. We ain't got time for this silly ass shit you doing in your 60s. You worried about a bag and shit. Nah, niggas is really, really tired of your ass. Now let me show you this. Where's this where you did a video with buck eyes? Where is that them buck eyes? This one right here. This is crazy. Where the black people receiving racist text messages, but you show Black Americans with buck eyes, yourself with buck eyes, and some cotton with all this Trump shit. This is sad. This really is. For you to be like, no. And then nobody gonna call it out. Like, where's the fuck is our elders? James Smalls need to get in your ass and Kaba Kamini need to get in your ass for this shit that you've been pulling. Don't get mad because it's some black men. Them black men, they don't even really, they don't know nothing about me. That's them black men that was calling the TO show. I don't know them people. They got an issue with you because they realize like, man, you having us on a damn hamster wheel. You want us to be all stuck up under that damn government shit, and the government be doing legal chicanery on us instead of challenging the things that they have said or the ways that they define things. If they define black as any racial group from Africa, then that's incorrect, and the government needs to fix that. And so, even if we don't organize to go under that initiative in terms of the abolish race initiative, but at least psychologically, Black Americans can know, like, and can say on one accord, like, no, like, Black American is an ethnicity, and it's defined as what we define it as. And so that part of that work is going through the OMB they're doing with this BANF stuff. I don't know nothing about that. That's not the project that I'm working on, but people are working on it. So it's not plebiscite Babble just because elements of our grassroots are wanting to gatekeep the Black American moniker as a separate identity from melanated immigrants that come over here. They wouldn't be Black American and they can't go in a Black American category, but they would be their origin. It wouldn't be Black American, you know. Now I don't get caught up in all that black stuff. I changed the spelling to Blaque. I changed the definition to mean for my lineage, for in certain bloodline of my lineage, and I stated what it was already on public record, and I'm moving on from it. Again, I'm not a groupthink type nigga like y'all. Y'all gotta work in a code. Y'all gotta look for the validation of some other nigga. Y'all gotta work in a group. Everything gotta be a group, or a clique or a cult. And see, I don't operate that way. I can stand alone. I'm a bitch that can work alone, stand alone, and be by myself, and stand on an end to the very end. That's the type of bitch I am. I'm not somebody that need to follow after another person or follow after the crowd. You follow the crowd, you get lost in the crowd. A friend to everyone is a friend to no one. When you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. So I don't give a fuck about what people that is 200 years behind and all this shit. I'm not about to sit and let y'all try to gaslight me on some shit that, man, these people is playing chess on a level like it's and it comes to when it comes to us, like I could just feel that they have such a disdain for us. It's like an instant knee jerk reaction to my people. Now, do every white person feel that way? Of course not. But when we talk about the way this system feel, yeah, I could feel that. I felt that on the DNC and the RNC. I feel that from both parties. That's why I'm not fucking with neither one of them. Because I could feel that knee jerk reaction that they have to us. And it's like these people, they really ready for you to show and prove. Like y'all really gonna have to build your own. And they about to show you that better than they can tell you. And all them unorganized, unintelligent bastards that were getting off on emotionally seducing Black Americans to shoot their own self in the foot. They don't have no plan, and y'all about to see that shit. Y'all about to see how like these niggas really ain't got no plan for us, and they telling us, and whoever's pushing them out there, they getting pushed out, but they ain't got no motherfucking plan. The government pushing them out there, but they leading us around in a damn circle like the those who were walking around in that circle in Israel for 40 years in a circle. Hmm. I ain't got no real beef with no one, but I call out bullshit when I see it. And I am disappointed in certain people. It's just disappointing, especially when you know that they covering up stuff and in a way have people moved in a way in which people felt threatened and felt like they had to go after certain people while lying and all this stuff. And it is sad. It is sad because it teaches it for one, it humbles you, but two is like you get to really see how fake this shit is. It is so fake. And I would tell anybody, I would tell any woman, don't get involved in you know, we people have to just see for themselves. There's no point. It's like they have to be dragged through the ringer for themselves. And you have to realize that if you're not gonna do that group think stuff, if you're a real creative soul, if you got a lot of light, then they're gonna try to sacrifice you or you're the one that they're gonna be gunning for in that space. Male or female. Male or female. They will gun for you if you got too much light and you can't be controlled or you're not gonna play ball with their little fake ass system. Their little fake ass system. Very disappointed. So disappointing. But yeah. Um Black Americans, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say this one last time. You do want to start to study that Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the some of these founding documents. I will also say Thomas Paine, Common Sense, Jacques Rousseau, social contract, the ideas of tacit consent. You do want to study them Bill of Rights. You do want to study that preamble. You do want to study that Constitution. You do want to study the Northwest Providence of 1787. You do want to study some of the political philosophy relating to the Emancipation Proclamation, um, Martin Luther King. Again, you saw exactly what you see these schools teaching now after I had said it. The timestamps are all available. The timestamps are all available of when I have put this out and how quick Georgia 26 public colleges and universities decided to set up a whole initiative to teach the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Federalist Papers, and other founding documents. Less than a week of me telling Black Americans to do this. That was just so plebiscite battle. I was just so. Yeah, I better hope that little clairvoyance quantum entanglement vision that I got of y'all asses in 2026. I better hope it ain't real. I'm hoping that it don't come true either, because if it do, whoa, whoa. At least if nobody else listens, at least I know, and I know how to prepare. I know how to prepare. I will know how to prepare. See it right here. The Gettysburg Address. USG students will learn from the Declaration of Independence, United States Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Articles of Confederation, the Federalist Papers, the Gettysburg Address, the Emancipation Proclamation, and Constitution and Bill of Rights. Martin Luther King's letters from Birmingham jail. This is an alley hoop to Black Americans. Y'all probably just can't see it yet because y'all was sitting up in a room telling, we don't need our Bill of Rights. And like, damn, our education system must have totally been the shit if y'all out up there saying that. And it's also going to remain neutral. The schools are going to remain neutral on social and political issues while modeling what it looks like to promote viewpoint diversity, create campus culture where students can engage in civil discourse and open exchange of ideas as the norm. I think that's very important. And I was just talking about DEI and my experience in the Knock the Order governance structure video. I was just talking about like the DEI and how um you know uh my experience with not, I wouldn't say I didn't need it, but I was saying like we were already ahead of the ballpark in many instances as Black Americans, at least in Buffalo, New York. Again, I can't speak for the whole education system of um of the United States, but Hutch Tech was obviously one of the top in New York State itself. And New York State also has pretty decent education, but also the school that I went to was I would say like probably top 50 in the country. But then Charter School for Applied Technology, they was like top three in New York State for a while. I don't think they are now. I don't even think Hutch Tech is either. Probably not. I'm not sure, but I do know they had high ranking. Hutch, as far as nationwide and then New York statewide, clearly. And so, maybe that's anecdotal evidence. Maybe that's anecdotal in terms of like, you know, me basing my viewpoints. Maybe it's just too structurally too inculcated in that anecdote, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think I said everything I needed to say. On Friday, we are going to cover elections and voting for the Nagti order. We are going to cover that, and yes, elections and voting, and then special elections as well. We wanted to cover that, and I also wanted to discuss some of the changes, not so much of the changes, but like the structural things that I was contending with in relation to like how to model the upper house of the governance structure. So I did excuse me, I did do some research on that, and I also want to update you guys all about that on Friday as well. So I'm going to get up off of here. I'm tired. Yeah, God bless. Let me look at the comments. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't really look at the comments. Hey, baby Royal Deluxe. Gets their own governance system. Everyone gets their own governance. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is yeah, because it's coming. Because a lot of stuff is going to go back to the states. A lot of stuff is going to go back to the states. And so they're going to be they're going to be a lot of, I would say, factions. I don't necessarily foresee succession, though. I wouldn't be shocked if something was so extreme to happen. I wouldn't rule it off the table completely. But I do think that governance systems will be put up on a state level. It depends. I hope it don't get too bad where people just in such in disagreement. But I do think there needed to be overhaul even on the federal level in terms of the way the current governance is structured. But I don't think we're quite there yet. But there is definitely a reason why they're switching over to the Constitution because again, there is some things coming that there are people within our government, there are people that are in power that don't necessarily want either, and it has nothing to do with political parties. We're not talking about DNC and RNC shit. We're talking about like sovereignty against mental slavery or human rights versus being against a technocracy or being against certain agendas that may come that relates to the American people and our freedoms. And so it is much bigger than any political membership and all this bullshit. As far as what we're talking about. Oh yeah, you got a lot. You got some 125D secret sauce, but it's just like people were saying, like, "Oh, you were telling all your business." No, 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 not quite. I tell what I want people to know. You said, "Hey, Travell." I think you're new here. You said yes, that Donald Trump is getting rid of the 13, 14, 15. I don't know about all that, honey. I got to look into it, but I do know he was challenging the 14th Amendment. People had said something about that 13th too. But I'm saying for black people to just act like these people ain't never stabbed us in the back, or like you could just blindly trust what these motherfucking politicians say and try to play me like I'm crazy and let that nigga Tariq run around telling people I'm crazy and they gonna bring ribs on the stage. Like, no, y'all niggas is so fugazi for that. And we have a right to challenge like 13th, 14th, and 15th. And if this is true, Travell, that is so disturbing. And a lot of us, again, we don't care about no damn Democrats either. But it's like, what the hell? I ain't about to just willingly. No, I don't consent to or comply with nothing that's gonna harm my people. No, I'm not consenting to nothing. You will get called out. I don't care if I supported you. I don't care if I loved you. I don't care if I thought you was gonna drain a swamp and all this shit. These niggas don't give a fuck about us at the end of the day. They want to line their pockets up and secure their power and make their next power moves. They don't give a fuck about us. And so we got to look into things. That's all I'm saying is look into it. And if we are dramatic and we look at it, but don't try to say every time somebody got a critique, now y'all want to say it's plebiscite babbling. Now you want to say it's fearmonger. Now you want to say um it's a DNC show. Now we none of those things, and we prove we none of those things. Now it's oh you're crazy. Now we prove it's none of those things that you're a controlled opposition COINTELPRO nigga. Now what? I'm telling you, they gonna light the ringer up under my ass because they like, damn, she cannot be controlled. And I'm not. I'm not about to sit and kiss y'all asses because y'all niggas is sitting up there selling our people out, and I'm not allowing it. I don't give a damn if it was a DNC. I don't care if who it is. Y'all not here to bring no progress. Y'all here to line y'all pockets or to suck dick to get to the next level. That's what y'all here to do. And then don't nobody want to be bothered with that. We about creativity, we about enlightenment, we about truth, we about freedom. We damn sure about truth. We damn sure about building, coming together, you know. We are warriors, spiritual warriors. And so we fight for what's right with our minds and heart. We don't gotta sit up there and do all this physical labor and physical work. Psychologically, we pull ourselves out of a system. You gotta do it psychologically first before you do anything. Hey, Boli Boli. It's been a minute since I seen you. Remember you, Boli Boli. But yeah, let me get my ass up off of here. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. What y'all doing? Y'all got turkey going? What y'all got? What y'all gonna be doing for Thanksgiving? You got mac and cheese and turkey. What's the other one? Stuffing, sweet potato pie. I had got me some sweet potato pie. Oh Lord, I hate the holidays because we like to get our eat on. But I had some sweet potato pie. And then stand a chance. And then stand a chance. Um, I had made me some greens. I love collard greens. I made me some collard greens. I had got like this. They said it's Bircher's the world's best mac and cheese. They claim it's Bircher's world's best mac and cheese. Is that what it's called? World's best mac and cheese by Bircher's Beechers. That's what it's called. And I'm like, that's a tall claim. It's literally on the box. It says world's best mac and cheese. So I bought it and I'm like, it's really expensive. And I'm like, it ain't the world's best. And I probably should have just made my own, but I'm like, Black Americans, y'all put, man, we make the best black and cheese. I'm like, if it don't got that, that little layer of that crust on there, the cheesy crust and that little block that you can cut it. You know how it's just the way I'm like, why can it's not one company that can replicate that taste, can they? Like as far as like getting it in a frozen meal, it's not one. And they got these Birchers. It's awesome. We made the handmade. They on a box that say homemade, handmade cheese, and premium ingredients, world's best mac and cheese. I mean, it was okay. Don't get me wrong. It was okay, but it wasn't like not for that price. You talking about $15 for some frozen mac and cheese. I think $15 for a box of frozen mac and shit tastes like it. It was just like it's edible, but world's best. No, no. And so I had that, but I don't know. I don't really celebrate a lot of these holidays are hard like I used to. I mean, we grew up like Thanksgiving was like major in my family growing up. It was so major. We used to fry them turkey. Remember we used to, the deep fryer that you used outside, them deep fryers. We used to fry that deep turkey, boy. We used to, man, sweet potato pie everywhere, apple pies everywhere, mac and cheese, string beans, everything you could think of that's Black American food. That's what I used to have on Thanksgiving. Used to get a fresh outfit and watch football on Thanksgiving and talk shit. So I hope you guys have an excellent Thanksgiving though, filled with grace and great food and great times and family and connection. Or if even if you're by yourself, that you having a good ass funky time by yourself as well, because you're never alone until you give up on yourself. Okay, and so God bless everyone. Nigga, you better not ever, ever bring me up in no space, Tariq. Act like you know. Get some act right and act like the fuck you know and act like the 60-year-old old ass man that you are. And don't ever try to play on my top, nigga, because you can never. I'm 32 years old. You see my body of work. You was sitting up there copying shit. Got caught doing some sherm shit. Got called out. Now you got to try to cover. But I've been told your simple ass to let bygones be bygones. You dragging this shit out spiritually. Let it go. I'm only tell you one more time. Let it go and move on. Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.